Welcome into the Midday Show. I'm Ray Dunn. Today, Amy Fadul joins us for all 4 hours. How are you, Amy?
I'm so well. How are you?
I am fantastic. Austin Jones, producer of the program. We are one day away. We are officially at Football Eve, and I am so relieved. If anyone's listened to me over the last couple of weeks, this is all I've wanted.
Exactly.
All right? I love baseball season as much as the next guy. I love summer as much as the next guy. Once we got to the middle of August and we were breaking down what the third stringers did in the second half, I was all in. Get me to football season. And we finally made it here. So tomorrow, the plan is we will give you 4 hours. Eagles, Cowboys, hate them. Let's lock in. Today, the plan is let's get you ready for football season because there's the bigger picture to be had here. We did a lot of it yesterday looking at this Eagles team, but today is a beautiful day to look at the big picture. Look around the NFL. I was listening to the morning show on the way in, and they're giving you their futures, and Andrew's taking you to like the 75th page of FanDuel to give you that best bet, and you should use that FanDuel Sportsbook app, and you should go in there and take whatever bet he gave you. Of course, always bet responsibly. But I was loving listening to that coming on the way in, and that was really where I wanted to go today. What I wanted to do was take a look at this Eagles team, take a look at where we think they're going to go. We did W's and L's in May. We did W's and L's probably in other ways in June, July, and August. But we're here in September. And what I want today, your opportunity to get on the record. All right? Your opportunity to tell us what you think they're going to do record-wise. And I also want from people the why and the why not. And this is not a, why are they going to make the playoffs? We're beyond that point, man. All right? Yeah, we're well beyond that point. Why they're going to win the division again. I'm beyond that point. Why this team repeats. Or why this team doesn't repeat.
Okay, all the way.
I want to talk all the way to the end of this.
Not even like NFC title.
Nah.
Okay.
We said yesterday, I did set the bar.
High.
Championship game Sunday.
Yeah.
That's where you got to be playing. That's the bar for this season. If you're not, I'll apply the proper context when it applies. But really, at this roster, in this conference, I can't find a lot of excuses for you not to be the championship game Sunday. That's just where the expectation is.
Because you've really done a deep dive. That's the thing.
Well, yes.
This is not just you being like, hey, I think it's fun.
So I did a deep dive in the sense that I got here today and I was like, how can I get myself locked in for this season? And I did W's and L's not just for the Eagles, not just for the NFC East. I went on playoffpredictors.com and I punched in the wins and loss for every single NFL game this season.
So you chose every single game.
Every single game.
Oddly enough, not to interrupt, but this is what we've done with our 4-year-old every week. He picks a week, and we go week 1, and we go all the way down the slate.
I have been compared to 4-year-olds for a long time.
Well, he just likes learning the logos. Have a real. His is more just like which logo he likes a lot.
My ability to focus, all those things.
I should actually write his
of a 4-year-old.
I should write his down to see who comes out better. I will do that when I get home.
I can guarantee you his will. Because I look at what I did in the W's and L's, and I was like, well, you're kind of a simple man here. Not a lot. Very chalky here. Some of the teams I'm higher on than others that I surprised myself with. Not so much. But what I want to go through first starts with the Eagles. And the Eagles, I believe, final prediction here, 12-5, win the division again. And then the reasons why or why not. The reason for me why they would repeat is they find a more in-rhythm passing game. Their offense evolves beyond hand it to Barkley, and when they stop that, then let's beat them through the air.
Right.
To the point where they're just using every single weapon at their disposal to beat the crap out of you week in and week out. And that would be why, to me, they repeat. By why not? Too many holes defensively, and they just don't end up as dominant. And the marriage last year was so perfect between what they did offensively and how dominant they were defensively that if you don't have that dominant defense again and we see a similar offense, I think you end up not being able to repeat because I think at some point in the postseason you catch a quarterback that's going good, you catch an offense that's going good, and with a less dominant defense, you have to play a near flawless game. And I harken back to the Super Bowl that they lost to the Chiefs where they played a near flawless game. The one flaw was really the one difference in that one, and you did have a good defense that year. It just had a bad day that day. Right. And that would be the reason why, again, you don't end up repeating. Now, Amy Fadul.
Yes, sir.
Let's get on the record, about a record, and give me your why or why not.
I also have 12-5
All right.
because I think the last game of the season is not going to matter. So I always kind of throw that one. Otherwise, I think that could be a 13-win team. But I do not think they're going to repeat, only because I think it's exceptionally hard. I want them to. I think that I want to at least be there for Championship Sunday, but it is exceptionally hard. What we saw what the Chiefs were able to do a couple of years ago is remarkable, and obviously what everybody was hoping they would do last year, which was great. And I love watching The Kingdom and knowing exactly how that show ends. It's great. The fact that they had like premieres for it.
Should I watch?
No, I mean
Okay.
you should watch the end of it. Some of it's interesting. It's like watching a less entertaining version of Hard Knocks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting, some of the ins and outs, but I mean, you're just waiting for the end.
Have you watched the Cowboys one yet? The
I've watched
gambler
part
and
of
his
it.
team. Is that more? Because
Yes,
we were doing the
that's
debate
more
which one you.
that's
Okay,
more interesting.
I will watch that then.
That's definitely because there's very good insight on Jerry Jones in that one. It's very interesting. Not that you want to be super insightful, but it just lets you know how he operates, which I guess we can see anyway. But I just think it's really the difficulty level has been ratcheted up. Obviously, their schedule is exceptionally tough. The defense has some issues, mainly in the secondary, and we've seen that come back to bite them. I also worry about a little bit of the veteran leadership lacking. They've lost some serious leaders on that. Not to think that they don't have any, but when times get tough, you need to have guys they're going to be able to step up. Doesn't mean this is also a team last year where I remember being on here in the middle of the season or summer, and we thought, well, if they could just somehow muster up a way to be like 15th or 16th in the country as far as, or in the league in defense, and they ended up with one. So don't listen to me. I'm an idiot, but that's my opinion.
A couple morons with the microphone.
Yeah,
That's what I like
sorry,
to
what
call
are we doing?
myself.
What are
I
we
want to
doing?
get a T-shirt with that. Moron with the microphone. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. You know?
Would it have your face or just like the words?
Yeah, you could put my face in one of
Yeah,
those.
like a cartoonish,
Like
yeah.
a moron with my, me.
Yeah, I just think it's really, really hard. I hope that they do. I think that they have a really good chance. But if I really had like
But if they were to do it, why would they do it?
if they were to do it,
What do you think's the driving force in that?
the offense. The offense is absolutely the driving force for me for a reason. I think it will be more balanced. I think they will get more involved. I think it's still going to be pretty simplified because I think that works best. You don't need it to be overwrought with, complicated plays when you've got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Saquon Barkley. You don't need it speaks for itself. So I think they were to win it all again, which is a distinct possibility, the offense would be the one carries them through.
Now,
Balanced offense.
Part of the reason why I asked the why or why not, because Diana Rossini does a tremendous job covering the NFL for The Athletic and as the podcast on The Athletic Scoop City.
Yep.
Spoke about her interaction with someone close to Jalen Hurts and used that as a driving piece of conversation as to why she believes the Eagles are better set to repeat than previous Super Bowl champions and pretty much the last time the Eagles won a Super Bowl. Take a listen to what Rossini had to say.
For me, I think the reason why they do beat the Super Bowl hangover, so to speak, is because of Jalen Hurts. Someone close to him shared with me that Jalen views this season so differently than he has every other year because now that he has the ring, it's a completely different mentality. The pressure's off, right? He's done it now.
Yeah.
So now it almost feeds into the confidence that he's done it. He knows how to do it. He knows how to win in the big moments. And look, we saw him play at an exceptional level in a loss in a Super Bowl, right? So now that he played exceptional again and has it turned out to be the winner in it all, how could he not feel great about what he's doing and how his play is at the quarterback position? So I think a quarterback last year we would not have said was the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles could win a Super Bowl is my reason for this year why I believe that they can.
Interesting caveat there at the end with someone we wouldn't say was the reason why.
There's a lot of people that are not going to say that he would be the reason why not.
Right.
Nationally.
But the conversation that the pressure is kind of lifted from him. Do you sense that?
No. But only because, and I get her point if it was somebody not named Jalen Hurts. But I think the way that he approaches each season, each game, really each practice, I mean, the way that he carries himself, I think he enjoys that pressure. I think he puts it on himself. I think he welcomes it. So I get what she's saying as far as he doesn't have that pressure to try to prove himself. But I think, honestly, I think he enjoys when people negate him and say, oh, no, that this guy isn't, he's top 15 maybe, if that type of vibe. I think he pays attention to a lot of that stuff. I think it helps drive him. So it's hard to say if a guy that is driven by that and is paying attention to what the outside world thinks of his quarterback play isn't driven by some sort of pressure.
And that leads me to the question of what does a more relaxed Jalen Hurts look like out there on the field, and what does it look like in practice, which is something we can get into coming up here as we continue here on the Midday Show. Plus, as we go through our entire NFL extravaganza, we both have a dozen wins for the Birds. How does the rest of the NFC East shake out? Any surprises? Any team you're high on, low on? I think we all got one that we're low on, but we'll get to that coming up. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn, taking through Middays right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons feel like Groundhog Day because you keep hearing that?
Welcome back in alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn, taking you through the Midday Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic, and opening up the show with where do you think this season goes? What do you have for this team in terms of wins. Tomorrow, the full 4 hours breaking down Eagles, Cowboys. I cannot wait for it. Getting you ready for that. We'll also have a Phillies game to react to because that series picks up again today. I was lost last night.
It was really weird. It was so much of that we were all like, where? I mean, we watched like they had the MLB Network had like the quad box on, so we got to see like the nonsense in that Giants game. But
yeah,
it
I mean,
wasn't
not
the
a bad sports night if you were a national baseball fan. Otherwise,
it was weird. It's weird to not have. I get why they did it. There's obviously you have to have X amount of days off, and the Brewers needed one, and they wanted to play on Labor Day for the the Labor Day gate.
Right. Can I say something that
You can say something.
Yeah, this America's Game thing that they're putting out tonight for the Eagles. Every year they do the America's Game team that won the whole. It looks tremendous, and those that have had the inside viewing, like where they've been able to get that first premiere viewing of what it is.
Yes.
I've had wonderful things to say about it. It's great. You're going to love the way Jalen Hurts comes off in it. It's a wonderfully produced thing. Who was the moron that scheduled it for Wednesday night?
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand.
Like, I get it. It's the night before football begins. It's NFL Network. Football's king. They can do whatever they want, yada, yada, yada. The Phillies play at 7:40 tonight.
And not just like a random game.
Right.
The Brewers.
They play the Brewers.
In Milwaukee.
The best team in baseball.
Don't they know what we're going to be watching?
Like, I'm curious to hear from the fan that's like, you know what, I've had enough Phillies. I'm going to just watch the America's Game.
Yeah, coming off the best win of the season on Monday, and you didn't have baseball Tuesday, so then you're locked in on Wednesday, and now they're trying to something that you also want to watch. I want to watch the Jalen Hurts and the Eagles promo as far as like they're the America's team. This is America's game.
I want to watch both, but I know what I'm going to end up watching. I'm going to end up watching the Phillies.
You're going to watch one on your phone.
But that be locked into one, locked out of the other. Like, I'm going to be half paying attention. That doesn't make for good viewing. Because the America's Game thing is, I'm not watching like a game. I'm watching, as it plays out. You can watch two games at once as action happens here, action happens. This I'm watching like narrative based, dramedy on what happened.
Yeah, because you have to kind of lock it.
Sucks. I can't be the only one that feels this way. I was so upset. I saw the promo for it last night, and I'm like, oh, this is dumb. I was like, why couldn't I be watching this right now? I got nothing going on.
Just the timing of it.
Well, I haven't watched it yet. Everyone says it's great. I reserve my right to an opinion. If tonight I'm forced to do the split viewing thing and it stinks,
yes,
I'll be in a mood tomorrow.
I cannot wait.
I'll be in a serious mood tomorrow.
I was going to say I'd watch it just so I can find out, but I'll just watch it on delay. I'm not watching. I'm watching.
I'm watching afterwards. Yeah, no, this will be a double watch night for me. And this is actually the best start time for me, Phillies wise, because Wednesday's softball night. So
that's right.
We got a big.
So you'll be all clear.
Yeah. So once I get home from that, then I'll be able to watch the Phillies for sure. Getting back to the Eagles conversation though, because we both have them at a dozen wins. I'm asking you your reason why, or the reason why not. You can give us both on why you believe they could repeat, why they will not repeat. Because we played that audio for you from Diana Rossini, who says the mindset of Jalen Hurts and the freedom that winning has opened up for him is the reason why she would bet on this team not to have the Super Bowl hangover that we've seen before. Which there's a lot of reasons why I think people would buy back into the Eagles for this season. How young this roster is, how talented this roster is, how talented that offense is. You've got Vic Fangio still as your defensive coordinator. Saquon Barkley is still pretty good at that football thing. And Jalen Hurts fits into those reasons why.
Correct, Mundo.
But the mindset for Jalen Hurts, being more free, playing, I guess, more relaxed, I think you saw, and I think some people are saying that this America's Game, you see a lot more Jalen smiling, Jalen having a personality. I think you started to see him opening as they beat down on the Commanders. I think as he started to realize they were going back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then certainly the Super Bowl, wanting to go out there and really pummel the Chiefs. I believe it when he says that loss the Chiefs changed him in 57.
Agreed.
I think you saw a very tense Hurts through 2023, to put it mildly. A guy that was just so locked in on I have to get back. I have to win that thing. I can't let that be the lasting memory of me in a Super Bowl. That pass that falls like 20 yards short, the one fumble. And he played tremendous. He outplayed Mahomes. But I think in his mind,
been MVP, yeah.
Yeah, that's what sticks out to him from that loss. But a more free Jalen Hurts, does that look more aggressive? Does that look more adventurous in the passing game?
Honestly, I think a lot of us have a little bit of PTSD from 2023 and the start of 2024 that you don't want him to be too free, but I think it could have a little bit more leeway as far as him being able to read and react. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes him more adventurous as far as, trying to force the play. You don't want that. That was one thing that they learned, while the season was going on last year, and Kellen Moore talked about it. Like, we have to kind of simplify things. One of the ways was obviously running Saquon Barkley, who was having a record year. But in other ways was when you looked at some of the passing game, it wasn't a super complex with multiple reads on it. It was okay, if this isn't open, here's what you do type of thing. And I think that was, and eventually towards the end of the season, I think they did open it back up. So maybe that's what she's alluding to as far as, when you're watching this and he has a little bit more joy. He did have a little bit more fun at the end of the season. Of course, they were rolling. And that's what happens when you have a really good running game. It always opens up the pass. It's just the nature of the beast, and vice versa, because if you can't be one or the other, then people can't stop both of them. And that's how it works. That's just simple math on that one. So I hope that it gives him a little bit more confidence to be able to check off the reads rather than just immediately go to whatever he feels is a safety valve, because I think sometimes he can hamstring himself that way. But, yeah, you don't want him to be too much of a rogue out there and too much cowboy it up as far as, like, just trying to make the passes happen. But I think he could have a little bit more confidence when it comes to those reads.
And with that, I think we've seen, at least this offseason, I had Olivia Reiner on from the Inquirer, end of camp, so maybe 2 weeks ago, just talking about what was the biggest takeaway she had from camp. And she had a takeaway that I've had of just almost maybe the conviction and the way Hurts has spoke in this camp seems
different.
Yeah, he seems like to have taken it to another level, whether it be leadership, whether it be just exuding a little bit more of the personality that he appears to have. Like that, to me, I felt like he's still guarded in the sense of what he wants to tell you, but it almost seems like he's found a way to, I guess, better communicate to us what he's thinking about, what he feels about certain aspects of the game than he has before. And I think that might also come with this idea of confidence. I'm just curious to see what it looks like in gameplay, because it's one thing for me to like the press conferences more and to be more entertained by him in the press conference. The bar there was not exactly tremendously high, but what it means for him to have confidence on the field is another thing for me. Like, what does that look like for Jalen Hurts coming up this season? And does it look like a little bit more of, all right, I know the ball has to come out here, I'm going to make that throw, instead of I'm going to protect it here and we'll see what happens. Hold on
to the ball too long. The criticisms have been there in the past. Hold on to the ball too long. Force it where it shouldn't go, instead of making that crisp decision, as you just said. And, all right, well, it's here. And then if it's not there, I need to know exactly what I'm going to be able to do as I work through the progressions.
So coming up, I want to get back to looking at the NFL and looking at this season, looking at the NFC East. There's one team that everyone has penciled in as the one you're going to compete with this year. Do either of the other two hold a candle? How far can they get in this conversation with the NFC East? She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Take you through Middays here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. This update's brought to you by Groundworks, your trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection today at groundworks.com. We're just one day away from the Eagles opening their season against the Dallas Cowboys. Yesterday was a good day as guard Landon Dickerson was a full participant in practice. The only player that did not partake in practice was backup quarterback Tanner McKee. With Landon Dickerson battling some preseason injuries, we received some great news and insight from Jeff McClain from the Philadelphia Inquirer, who joined Kincade and Salciunas earlier this morning.
I would say so, barring some sort of step back with the back. They can be tricky, big guys, but everything I'm hearing is that he's probably going to be a go to start.
The Eagles kick off 8:20 p.m. tomorrow, and the game will be on NBC. The Phillies are back in action tonight as Aaron Nola takes the mound against Jose Quintana. First pitch is set for 7:40. You can watch the game on NBC Sports Philly. The Phillies currently have a 5.5 game lead in NL East over the Mets. This update's also brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Experience the power, persuasion, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today. I'm Austin Jones, your home of the best birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
So DTR and Kyle McCord struggled immensely. Now, after that game, I actually tweeted, I would not be surprised if the Philadelphia Eagles made a move for a third-string quarterback. And some people were like, Bill, relax, listen to yourself. It's the preseason. It's the third-string quarterback. No. Knowing Howie Roseman, like we have learned to know Howie Roseman, he values the quarterback position as he should. And it's not just the backup. You got to have three. Because even last year, in your Super Bowl season, where we watched the Eagles win 16 of 17 games all the way to one of the most dominant seasons in franchise history, how many quarterbacks did they use last year? Was it three? They used all three quarterbacks last year because Kenny Pickett was your backup. Right. Kenny Pickett was your backup. Don't you remember? He got hurt. Tanner McKee had to start the game against the Giants.
Right. You're right.
So even in a dominant season like last year, you had to use all three.
Let's start with the first one that happened, which was the trade for Sam Howell. So, first off, a decent trade, right? We've seen him against the Eagles actually perform pretty well when he was with the Commanders. There's a ceiling to Sam Howell, and that ceiling's pretty low, but there's a ceiling. Now, what's your read on the trade? Obviously, Dorian Thompson-Robinson was horrible, and he got waived over the weekend as well. Is there more to the Tanner McKee injury, or is this just, quarterback factory, let's bring in another guy?
So, yeah, Tanner McKee, it's a non-surgical injury, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's not available for week one. And when you take that into consideration, the Eagles were not under any circumstances going to go into week one with Kyle McCord as the number 2 quarterback. For a team like the Eagles who value that position as much as they do, that was never going to be on the table. So I thought when I put my initial 53 out, I had McCord as the 3rd quarterback, but I fully expected the Eagles to look for an upgrade.
Correct.
Whether that was maybe a Kenny Pickett, if he doesn't stick with the Browns or something like that. I think this is a really good addition, and they didn't have to give up much to get him.
Right. Now, dude.
So there was a really interesting article in The Athletic by Jim Bowden. It listed every single playoff contender in Major League Baseball's under-the-radar indispensable player. And for the Phillies, believe it or not, it was Tanner Banks. And when you actually look at the numbers, he's not wrong, as I like to say. Tanner Banks has been extremely good against left-handed pitching, and he is going to be important in the postseason because you won't have Jose Alvarado. So outside of Matt Strahm, you're going to need Tanner Banks against lefties. But I was thinking, who else is an indispensable under-the-radar player? I'm going with Edmundo Sosa because he serves 2 roles on this team. Not only is he going to platoon at second base against left-handed pitching, he's also going to be that right-handed bat off the bench in big moments come October. And we have seen what Edmundo Sosa can bring to this lineup. That's my indispensable under-the-radar player.
So DTR and Kyle McCord struggled immensely. Now, after that game, I actually tweeted, I would not be surprised if the Philadelphia Eagles made a move for a third-string quarterback.
With the Ravens
some people
of
Bill, relax,
coming back the
listen
next
to
year,
yourself. It's
what
the
it would look
preseason.
like trying to
to-
repeat.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it a little bit later. Yesterday in the Sirianni presser, the line of questioning that Mike Skilsky went through that he wrote a column about, just what it takes for receivers to sacrifice in such a run-heavy offense. I want to get Torrey Smith's thoughts on that because he was a part of an offense that had just a number of weapons here in Philadelphia that maybe didn't get the target share that you would expect. So
Right.
how do you feel as a receiver when the ball's
When
not
you have
coming
to
your way?
exactly.
So a lot that I want to talk to him about. Amongst just like, hey, man,
Hey, how's it going?
football. Like, isn't that great? Aren't you just happy to see it?
Don't you just love it?
And he's in a really great spot in terms of former teams. Like, he can root for the Ravens
I was
to
gonna
go
say he's
take it in the AFC, root for the Eagles to take it in the NFC, and then we'll pressure him come Super Bowl time and make a pick there. But we're asking you to open up the show today. The biggest reason why you see the Eagles potentially could repeat and why they would not repeat. But I want to jump right into the NFC East because the NFC East seems very simple from the outside. This seems like a
It
very,
seems so simple.
very simple division to grade.
Yet.
And something that, and for those that missed the open of the show, I went through, and I'll show the YouTube chat or the YouTube audience right here. The whole list of all the teams. I went through and did every single game, wins, loss before this show, mostly because I don't think this is actually how it's going to happen, but I want to see what teams I'm high on. Like, if I see a team that I'm like, wow, that's a lot more wins than I thought I'd give them. Why is that the case? But I went all the way through, went all the way listing, and I couldn't get the East to look any different than what I thought it was going to look like in May.
There's nothing that came through in the thrilling preseason.
No.
Boosted everything up.
And
for you.
even the Cowboys thing. Like, as much as I think the Parsons trade hurts them.
You don't move them below the Giants.
No, I don't move them below the Giants, but I still had them higher than, like, I ended up with 9 wins with them. And I don't think they're a 9-win team without Parsons. They had a bad defense last year. Part of the reason I thought their defense would be better because they have one of the best defensive players in the sport.
Yeah.
And they don't have many more. So I'm trying to rationalize in my head where the losses are for them that I didn't have for them. But I still have them firmly third in this division. The Giants, I actually had to go through their schedule, click on them individually to try and find wins. Because I am just so incredibly low. And I don't know if that's me trying to project to my North Jersey family.
It listed every...
4, right? 4? I feel that. I mean, they ended up...
That's a good baseline for them this year.
Giants, 2024.
They
were so far off my Raiders.
It doesn't.
3.
I'm not. 3. There you go.
And I think that's a similar total.
I think I had 4.
Like, is Russell Wilson going to come show out for you?
No. They had the hardest schedule, too, which is just awesome. They must be really good about that.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, not only because of the division that they play in, but also just the way everything shook out.
1 win for the Jackson Dart debut. Because, rookie quarterback, they don't have a way of surprising you.
Yeah, you got to wonder when they just switch over. Just say it's a lost season. Russell Wilson.
I don't know why they haven't already. I'll be honest with you.
Listen, I'm with you. I have a nephew for whatever reason. He is a Giants fan. God bless. Drew, we love you, but it's a problem. But he thinks that he's like, oh, no, I see like 6 or 7 wins. And I said, well, then are you just thinking Jackson Dart turns into the guy? And he's, why would you start him? I get why you wouldn't because of your line being so bad. But at this point, it's a lost season. It's a lost season. You haven't even started, and the season's already lost.
I don't know what your long-term plan with Russell Wilson would be, which is why I would go to Jackson Dart. Like, is he going to sit there and, I guess, he's going to learn something. I don't know. I always feel like I learn by doing. Like, I don't do a lot of learning. Like, for example, we do the whole shadowing thing here when you start, and it's a great thing. You get a chance to sit in, learn from someone, watch it as the job is done. Andrew Salciunas, great guy. Does a tremendous job in the morning. I shadowed him when I started here. The biggest thing he said to me was, hey, man, you just got to kind of do this to figure it out. And I learned some by watching him, but I learned mostly by screwing up.
Yeah.
And like Jackson Dart has to screw up. That's kind of what you have to do. Yep. And if you're going to stink, you might as well stink in the year that you're supposed to instead of when he's learning on the job next year.
When they expect
or the year after.
Yeah, to do well.
That's a long way of saying the Giants, I think this is the most airtime we're going to give them this year outside of Eagles-Giants week because I think they're going to be bad. The Cowboys, I still have somewhere near 500. I think with the offense, I think with a healthy Dak, they're able to carry themselves to some sort of a hollow, like 7, 8, 9-win team. Somewhere in that range. 9 still feels tough. 9 is what
8.
I came through, again, with their record this year.
I'll give you 8.
It might be 7. I might have given them too much credit in division games. That might have been what because I think I gave them a win over the Commanders and a win over the Eagles. And I don't know if they win both. Like, get both these teams to a split.
No.
So that's where I ended up with them. And then I have the Commanders losing the division by a game to the Birds. And
I
to
can see
me,
that. Yep.
that's 11-6 for the Commanders, because I still have the Birds at 12-5, is maybe the higher end of where people are with them right now, because I feel like a lot of people are in the fade Commanders world where they're old. They were the flashy team last year.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? They can't replicate that. I'd like to think with Jayden Daniels they can.
That's the thing that when people say they're not going to be, the darling of the NFC. I agree. I think people will obviously have more tape on him. They'll have a better read on him, but he still is evolving. And I think that he is a good quarterback for them. And honestly, I like it when there's at least some competition elsewhere. I think it's careful what you wish for, because I used to say the same thing about the Knicks. Like, the NBA is better when the Knicks are good. Maybe not that good. So, but I think that they do have a good formula down there. I think they finally have some actual options. Their defense is a little bit suspect for me, and I think that they didn't necessarily. Some of their additions weren't. They were a little bit on the older side.
They keep getting older.
Yeah,
they just keep getting older.
Right.
Here.
I mean, I like Deebo Samuel too. I liked him a lot better 5 years ago. So, and some of the other players that they added, I know certainly on defense they got a little bit older, but I still think that's a good team. I think that's a team that will certainly contend in ways as a playoff team. I don't think that they're going to win the division by any stretch, but I see the Eagles, I think, winning the division by 2 games.
The Commanders' roster building strategy is the reverse DiCaprio. The older you are, the more interested. They're like, please, come on down. We'll bring you in.
2022?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hey, listen. Over 28 years old, we got you. You come on by. 30, even better. Get over here. We want you on this team. I'm interested, though, because as we continue to talk about where this season goes, something yesterday that the BS meter just went off. Like, I was listening to Sirianni speak, and I was like, this is a load of BS. I thought, with all due respect to the Super Bowl winning head coach, who was, again, 10 minutes late for his presser yesterday, his rescheduled 20-minute later presser. So a half hour later than when it was scheduled. Yeah. I heard him say this, and I was like, you got to be joking me. I want to know whether or not it bothers Amy Fadul, and also if the Eagles have gone to the extreme in one of their big talking points leading into this season. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Take you through middays here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philly fans, you are the
The Fanatic, and alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, talking about the NFL season getting going tomorrow. Looking forward to Birds and Cowboys. I'm thinking tomorrow. I believe we have something to give away tomorrow, if I remember correctly.
On this very show?
On this very program. And I'm thinking about blindly having, I believe Sean Robbins with us. We're going to pull things from the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Oh,
and
I watched that episode on the Netflix documentary.
Given my young age, there's a chance that if we went like top 10 songs, if we went lines from top 10 movies, I would not be able to get them. So I'm thinking an old me versus the audience.
Okay.
In trying to identify that 90s thing.
Got it. That's good stuff.
And winners obviously would be put in to get
the pick machine. Yeah.
Whatever the gift, whatever the prize we have. But
we're not going to.
It's so long ago.
It's 30 years.
That so many things that were popular then, someone of my age might have no idea. I'll be honest, I have no idea what it's like to watch the Cowboys win. It's a beautiful thing. I feel for a lot of you that had to deal with it for your, a lot of your lives.
Well, that's also the rise of, and I know they're out there, the Cowboys fans from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
See them.
It's very odd that I grew up in a time where the Cowboys, there weren't a lot. Like, they just didn't exist. Like, they just stopped. Like, people my age, like the bandwagon teenagers, they weren't like, yeah, let me go be a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, when we were living in South Philly, there was this one truck, I probably talked about it before, that would drive around with a giant Cowboys star. And it wasn't just a star thinking like, oh, it's trying to be like festive. No, it was giant Cowboy star, Cowboys at the bottom, giant on the big back of the back back window of the truck. And I always just wanted to ask that person when I would see the guy. I would see him drive around all the time. Like, is there a chance that you've ever even been to Texas? I know you haven't been to Dallas. Have you ever even been to the state? Have you left Pennsylvania besides from the shore? But I know that given just looking at him, I knew there was a Cowboys fan of a certain age, and he probably grew up with the Cowboys winning it all and thought, well, that's going to do that. Yeah, that's fun. Guy was like in his 50s or whatever, 40s and 50s. And so there you go. He loved it. Look at them. They're winning. Oh, it's America's team in the 90s.
Your misery brings me a lot of joy.
I wonder if he still has it. I wonder if the last 30 years have beaten him down, though. This was only like a couple of years ago. So
yeah, he probably does.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So I know a guy that was a Cowboys fan for the longest time, and he had made the switch to the Eagles because he was done.
This is the station of making the switch.
It is. He was done with being a Cowboys fan because of obviously the failures that they've had, quote, the past 30 years, but also with everything that Jerry Jones has brought to the team. He was just kind of done with the drama. Is that okay or not okay?
I mean, I think it was like a problem.
I mean, you can't switch to the Eagles. Yeah, you got
a problem in the beginning. He's from Philadelphia?
Yeah. I mean, he's from Jersey, so he's a Phillies fan and a Sixers fan, Flyers guy, but he was a Cowboys fan.
Nah, sorry, you're not welcome.
Not welcome?
Not welcome. You left because they're losers. You chose those losers.
And now you've been.
Those are your losers.
Yeah. You left because you thought the Eagles weren't good enough and that the Cowboys were better. And then now that the Cowboys stink, you want to come back. That's not how that works.
No. You chose those losers. Those are your losers. That's how the fandom works, by the way.
You can't be a fan.
No. Yeah, you're not welcome on the Eagles bandwagon. No, that's not how that works.
Is he 4 years old?
No, he's a grown man.
Yeah, no, you're a grown man. You made choices in life, all right? You have to deal with them now. You chose those losers. Those losers are now the ones you support.
That's your team.
All right. I want to ask, at 610-632-0975, I'd like to get some interaction on this one because maybe this is me, radio guy, just, all right, dude, shut up. They're enjoying it, or they have been fine. It's about the game tomorrow. Stop talking about this. But it bothered me yesterday. The BS meter went off because Nick Sirianni was asked about banner night and about the fact that they're champions. They're going to bring that banner down. It's going to be unveiled before the game. And in 2018, they were not on the field when the banner came down. So they're not going to be on the field again when the banner comes down. That's fine. Yeah. I don't care about that part of it. I've said a few times, some of the guys I almost feel for because I don't think they've enjoyed this nearly enough. Like, I don't think that they have all said, like, it didn't, like, A.J. Brown didn't fulfill me. Jalen Hurts, I gave myself 4 days to celebrate. I forget who else had said something similar where I was like, yeah, that was great, but, like, I'm good. Devontae Smith also was like, yeah, I understand what A.J. was saying. Like, it was good, but, is what it is. Nick Sirianni says this yesterday during his presser.
I didn't know it was banner night. We won't be out for that.
All right.
Stop. You didn't know it was banner night?
I didn't know it was banner night. We won't be out for that.
We've taken this too far.
You didn't know.
We've taken this too far. It's okay to admit we've taken the whole we're putting last year behind us thing a little too far. All right?
What did he think happened?
They should have known from pretty much when they woke up from the hangover after the Super Bowl that opening night they were going to unveil a banner. They should have known in May when they got their schedule that Thursday night there was a banner that was going to be unveiled. They should have known that when you walk into that facility, is it like everyone sees Sirianni and turns like, shh, he doesn't know.
Don't tell him that we won the Super Bowl and we hang banners up.
Yeah. Is it like...
They have one in the practice facility.
So, well, he doesn't know that, I'm sure. I'm sure he has no idea.
It's literally right there.
I'm sure he
There's
has
two
no
Super
idea.
Bowl banners. Like with the Lombardi trophy.
Does he know
Unless
there's a
I'm like-
second Lombardi? Does he know that the Lombardi came back? Does he think they just gave it back that night? Does he think it's like the Stanley Cup where it actually goes back and the victor every year gets it? Like, to me, I'm okay and almost have celebrated the idea that they're like, yeah, last season's over. Last season's done. We're good. We've moved on. That's good. Good for you. Can we just be honest on this one? Like, all right,
like, hey,
we're not interested in what happened last year. I didn't know it was banner night. Come on. That's...
The answer is, I love that they're going to do that. The fans are going to appreciate that. It's great that they get to participate and enjoy the banner being unfurled. We'll obviously be still doing our game preparations in the locker room. Simple, normal answer.
Like Neil in the YouTube chat, I agree, Ray. It's BS that the head coach wouldn't know it's banner night. It's disingenuous. It's basically lying to the fan base. It's treating fans like they're stupid. Like,
of course you know it's banner night.
Well, what do you... Oh, my gosh. Sirianni had no idea. How about that? Like...
You know it's banner night.
I think we've taken this a little to the extreme. Is everyone else in the NFL aware the Eagles are reigning champs? Yeah. Okay. So the Eagles should be aware that they're reigning champs, right? That's how this works?
It's literally how it works. And do you think the Cowboys don't know it's banner night? The Cowboys 100% know it's banner night.
Of course they know it's banner night. CeeDee Lamb said he was going to watch. Good for CeeDee Lamb. I appreciate him saying he's going to watch. I just think, I don't know. I'm curious for people at 610-632-0975 if you think they've gone a little bit too far on this, like, we don't care about last year thing. Because it's like, all right, dude, we get it. You guys have turned the page. You don't need to look at us like we're idiots. And like, oh, banner night? That's happening? That's what we've wanted to see this thing unfurled for a while. We've wanted to see this banner come down. Against the Cowboys, it's awesome. I love the sense of humor that the NFL has in this. But I'm curious if it sticks out to you the way it sticks out to me. And coming up, something that was said on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. They had Joe Montana. And Joe Montana was asked to pick quarterbacks to begin a franchise with. One of the answers is going to drive you nuts. One of the answers you'll really enjoy.
Oh, perfect.
She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Midday show right here at 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. We're just one day away from the Eagles opening their season against the Dallas Cowboys. Yesterday was a great day as guard Landon Dickerson was a full participant in practice. The only player that did not partake in practice was Tanner McKee. With Landon Dickerson battling some injuries this preseason, we received some great insight from Jeff McClain, who's with the Philadelphia Inquirer, as he joined Kincade and Salciunas earlier this morning.
I would say so, barring some sort of setback with the back. They can be tricky, big guys, but everything I'm hearing is that he's probably going to be a go to start.
The Eagles kick off tomorrow night at 8:20. The game will be on NBC. The Phillies are back in action tonight as Aaron Nola takes them out against Jose Quintana of the Milwaukee Brewers. First pitch is set for 7:40, and you can watch the game on NBC Sports Philly. And the Phillies currently hold a 5.5 game over the Mets for the NL East lead. This update's also brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Austin Jones in the home of the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
In on the 11 o'clock hour here on 97.5 The Fanatic. You're tuned in to WPEN, WPN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcast live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. And Amy, College Ray has had a difficult few hours here. A younger version of myself would be heartbroken right now. Honestly,
Current version
of me is a little bothered as well, but I just have more logins and I have a little bit more money than what I had in college. Did you see the big news in the illegal sports streaming world?
No, I did not see
Stream East is no more.
No?
It has been dismantled.
Oh.
So for all of you that illegally streamed your sports on Stream East, it's gone. Shut down in a sting. Apparently.
Wait a minute, there was a sting?
Yep. An operation alongside Egyptian law enforcement officials took place on Sunday, August 24th, to disrupt Stream East's dominant position in the illegal streaming market. Traffic to the site reached 136 million average monthly visits, with domains primarily originating from the U.S., Canada, the UK, the Philippines, and Germany.
I mean, that was like during COVID, I feel like people really got into a lot of that stuff. And
post-COVID, but. So we got Andrew Ellis. What the hell is Stream East? Stream East, yeah. It's gone. Money Mar's upset about it. So at least, I had that one, right? Stream East was.
I never used it because.
I obviously never used it. Obviously. I don't know who's listening and who's still a part of the sting.
I didn't use it.
You see two people in the suit come and grab me.
I knew people that definitely used it. I remember being at someone's house, and I was not even in the state, and they were using it. It was a younger group.
Yeah, it's
kids. Kids
it was a mainstay of college experience. Who's going to pay for all those different services? You just end up using Stream East.
Well, that's the thing. So
it's gone. So for those of you that were, trying to circumvent paying, I know people of an older age that that was their primary consumption of sport, that they did not want to pay anymore for that. That's the way they went.
Figure they paid for the base package, and they don't want to be able to. They didn't want to get charged for they wanted MLB Network and all of the channels. That's basically for anybody wondering it's streaming. There's a lot of versions of Stream East out there, but I think that was the one that you heard about the most.
The best way I can explain this to you is if you want to watch sports on the internet without paying any money. That's if you have not ever encountered it. Yeah. Those of you that have regular cable and will never, ever in a million years understand internet television, that's the best way I can explain it to you. Using the internet, free, illegal site.
I love my cable.
As you should. Good thing to have. Good thing to have. It is a great company. I'm trying to explain to an older audience here. And some would say it's a drop in the bucket. There's plenty of other illegal streaming sites. There are. This was just, I think, the largest of all of them.
135 million?
Monthly.
Ooh.
So
yeah, I know a lot of people that would use that. Like I said, like I have some people that are like younger, my nieces, nephews, especially like a couple of years ago when they were in high school or college. Well, they're in college now.
Yeah, and I mean, again, college students use it. People in their early 20s use it. People in their mid-20s use it.
People in their 30s use it.
People in their 50s, 60s.
Like you said, because once you figure it out, I think the first time I saw it was there was a post on Reddit, which is obviously where a lot of people call their information from for various topics. But it was like, that's very interesting. I can't believe it. I mean, I guess I can believe it's because obviously it's a huge. If you have 135 million monthly, then the subscribing services, the streaming services that wants those subscribers, that's a loss of their money. So I get it.
2 people I think got arrested in this. Like
only 2?
If you're a part of one of these illegal sites now, you got to be sweating.
It's an impressive run. You only had 2 people.
Yeah,
put that whole thing together. 2 people so far.
Yeah, 2 people so far. I think it probably took a lot more. All right. In a second here, we're going to get to what Joe Montana had to say about who he picked to be his starting quarterback if he was beginning a franchise. But we asked you to open up the show. The why or why not. If you could see this team repeating as Super Bowl champions, why would they? Why wouldn't they? Alan in New Jersey is jumping in at 610-632-0975. Alan, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Good morning, Ray. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning.
I hope you had, I know it's Wednesday now, but I hope you enjoyed your holiday weekend.
Hope you did as well.
Thank you very much. I really don't care about the celebration of last year. I see. Yes, he has to know that they're having this ceremony. I don't care about the ceremony. That ceremony was after they won the Super Bowl. For a month, they enjoyed it. So to me, totally out the door, gone, goodbye. They should have had something, whatever. But with that said, I'm very concerned about the Eagles secondary. I'm concerned about the linebackers.
Linebackers?
Kobe Dean. Yeah. Again, I don't know why Philadelphia Eagle fans. The Kobe Dean was better than Vaughn last year. I don't care about stats. Stats are misleading. Hopefully, he's scheduled after week 4 to be eligible off the PUP list. So that's number one. We lost linemen. We lost depth. If you watch that first drive that the Cleveland Browns, when we had our defensive starters and they had their offensive starters, that's the only thing I care about preseason is when do we see both have their starters. They ran right through us, and they passed right. They had like an 80-yard drive, and that was alarming. And the Giants, I hate to say this, Amy, but the Giants' defense may be better than our defense.
Their defensive front, I would say, if you want to go front 4, I can understand. I don't know if I could go beyond second level. And Alan, the linebackers there, this linebacker group, by all accounts, is one of the best we've seen in Philadelphia. And Vaughn, last season, if you talk about opportunistic and creating turnovers for you and just honestly manning the middle of that defense, he was tremendous.
Yeah, and it's not
nothing
just
against Nakobe Dean. Like, it's just
Nakobe Dean was great too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He was sailing through, and everybody was really, but it wasn't just stats based for the praise for Zach Vaughn. It was also the eye test. He brought a level of physicality to that linebacking position, and coming off of the edge the way that he did, that we hadn't certainly seen here in a really long time.
And a level that I just don't think Dean can get to in terms of that physicality, just given his stature. Like, I think Vaughn, to me, and I think to most of the NFL, was one of the best you had at linebacker last year. And not to, again, take anything away from Nakobe Dean, but I'm interested to see how much we see Nakobe Dean in an Eagles uniform.
Period.
I mean, it's a daunting injury to come back from, one.
And it came late.
And they also drafted someone that potentially could be taking his job before he gets back from his job. I look at that linebacker room, and that is not what I'm worried about.
No.
Linebacker is the least of my concerns.
I'll give you that. A
on
little
this defense.
edge.
And the front.
Pass rush. Sure.
I mean, we talked a little bit yesterday about ESPN did the story on X Factor, and Ojomo was the one they chose for the Eagles as the X Factor. And I could see that if he fits the Milton Williams role, that might take a little bit of pressure off the edge rushers. But yeah, at edge, I mean, you like what you have in Nolan Smith. You like what you have in Jalix Hunt. Can they be the two lead guys for you in the pass rush? That's a question that remains to be seen. And then what is Uche? What is Ojulari beyond him? And my guy, Patrick Johnson, I was really looking forward to him getting the opportunity. And I had to be disappointed again.
Yeah.
Cut down day hurt me again with Patrick Johnson. Now, I'll play this for you because I wanted to play this for you because I'm curious for people. And we asked you in the last segment whether or not you were bothered by the fact that Alan wasn't bothered by the fact that they've taken this extreme approach to not addressing last year, like not even mentioning banner night for Sirianni. I understand it's not for him, it's for us, but let's be honest here. Just be honest with us. We know it's banner night. No need to go to the extreme on this one. But I also want to know from you at 610-632-0975. What does it mean to you when you hear a former player give an opinion on something like this? Joe Montana was on the Pat McAfee show and was asked, hey, take Brock Purdy out of it because you're a 49er through and through. Which, hilarious that's the qualifier here. Take Brock Purdy out of it, as if Purdy would be one of the three quarterbacks.
As if he'd be like, you know who I really need to build my team around is this guy.
But it's smart because you remove the bias before he gives an answer that's clearly wrong. And he was asked, what three quarterbacks in the NFL would you start your team with right now? Take a listen.
If you were a general manager, head coach today, pick the top three quarterbacks you want to start your franchise with. And why? I like this. And not Brock Purdy. You can't take Brock.
Boom. Okay, Brock is your number one pick. We know that.
Yep.
So you love Brock Purdy. You love Brock Purdy.
Yeah. I'm taking the guy in Buffalo.
Okay, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh. The guy that surprised me that I thought would, obviously, Joe Burrow's another guy I like a lot.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I like the guy with the Chargers. Just just Herbert. I think they just kind of gone by the wayside there, but I just like the way those three guys are. I do also like the guy in Philly, though. I won't get
Jalen Hurts. Okay. Just won a Super Bowl.
All right. So
But that's also painful. Talk about come on. The guy.
the guy.
I
that
like
was
the guy
where
in Buffalo. I like the guy. I like the guy in Philadelphia. You mean the one that is the current Super Bowl MVP and champion? That one? You
So-
want a couple of those, Joe?
I'm curious for you at 610-632-0975. How much stock you take into listening to former athletes give an opinion like that? Because to me, it sounds like Joe Montana watches, but maybe from a distance on this, considering the guy in Buffalo.
Listen, he's Joe Montana. He doesn't have to watch football anymore, but
No.
you're asking him a football question.
The headline.
I think they would have prepped him on that one.
The headline, Joe Montana selects Jalen Hurts as one of the 4 quarterbacks he'd start a team with, is a wonderful headline. The actual talking point that got us to that, I don't put a lot of stock in that one. I'll
It's
be
like,
honest
that
with
guy
you.
was pretty good. You think? What was it that made him pretty good for you, Joe? You notice there wasn't a lot of follow-up. And honestly, that was in a San Francisco radio station, right?
No, it was Pat McAfee show.
Oh, Pat McAfee, you said that. Sorry, you said Pat McAfee. So you're not gonna set Joe Montana up for failure, even though they didn't give him maybe a lot of heads up on that. But also, you're not gonna banish him to the island of and crush him and be like, oh, but tell me why you want those guys. Yeah,
Right.
He liked whatever the 2 instances that he saw, and so he's gonna go with that. The guy. I have real beef with Justin Herbert. I don't know what he watched one game, win.
So coming up, I want to go through those 4 just that he names out there, and just the idea of those 4 being the 4. Who do you miss on? Why could you justify that list? But also, I want to know just how much stock people put in after listening to that, because I'm sure someone saw on social media, oh, hey, Jalen Hurts was one of the quarterbacks that Joe Montana picked, and didn't listen to the clip. And I think after listening to the clip, I'm like, nah.
You picked him.
You picked him. You also picked the guy in Buffalo and the guy with the Chargers and the guy that just won the Super Bowl. And coming up, I mentioned it earlier, the wide receivers in this offense and how they react to a run-heavy offense. Is there any concern in your mind about whether or not the Eagles receivers could be bothered by their usage? If there's another run-heavy season for this team, she's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic. Hey, everybody. and that's for obvious
he's never
reasons.
coming back
Well, that's
because of you.
yeah, because of the fist fight that we got in. It was the Fighting Irish was what they described what happened.
That
back
makes
there.
sense.
Which, by the
actually,
way,
to be
we didn't touch on any of the college football stuff yesterday. That's on me. Begun. First game with the new logo. That's got to be tough. Speaking of tough, oh man, Bill Belichick. My entire timeline was, look at that first drive. Bill Belichick's going to win a national title. And then nobody tweeted again. Nobody tweeted again about UNC. I didn't see anyone else acknowledge the fact they stunk.
Yeah, the only tweet I saw was that the girlfriend was on the sidelines, like in the middle of the game.
Was she?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Yeah. I didn't watch any of the game.
We did.
I saw.
It was bad.
I saw the opening.
When what's his name, the backup quarterback came in, that actually showed a little life. I don't know how that guy didn't win the job.
Oh, stop it! The backup quarterback going to bail this Belichick guy out again?
He was the yeah, Drew Bledsoe was waiting there, but he was a starter I think last year when he had a catastrophic injury. It was like a really good story. He looked. I don't think he looked bad.
And while I'm taking shots across the entire college football landscape, oh man, is it tough to see Alabama like this? Oh, you just feel for those Alabama fans. Oh man, is there anyone that's going to be more hated than Cal DeBoer? Like that guy.
The best is there were so many positive tweets about like DeBoer's going to be such an easy transition after Saban. It's going to be as if there's no difference.
And I watched game day because I wanted to see the finale for Lee Corso.
Of course.
And Saban's up there like, oh, yeah, I could tell the mentality's so great there. They've got the culture figured out. It was a tough transition year.
Yikes.
Meanwhile, the only guy on that set with any clue about that game was the guy that was just a homer for that game, Lee Corso picking Florida State.
Yeah, he was just like, no, I'm going with my team.
Which, by the way, Thomas Castellanos, I believe, is the quarterback for Florida State, right? Who's the one that said that they don't have Nick Saban to save them? Whoever was the one that said that.
He's right.
Props to you, man. That was a great way to call your shot. I mean, I loved what I saw in college football because the game. I watched Texas and Ohio State, which, by the way, I will say that for all you curious back at home, a very significant Penn State alum did chime in on my text line yesterday, letting me know that he was livid at the fact that the voters put Ohio State over Penn State already. And to which I replied, they did beat the preseason number one.
Yes.
Ohio State went out beat preseason number one. Penn State beat Nevada.
And I think Penn State, next week they play Villanova.
Yes, I'm still trying to encourage said Penn State alum to go watch them at Ohio State November 2nd. I'm telling him he has to go.
I don't think he's going to put himself in that.
He has to go. I'm telling you, he has to go.
Is that the shoe?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He's got to go. If he thinks it's the year, he's got to go. But I, of course, the one game I watched outside of Ohio State, Texas, was the first half of the Temple game before I got locked into the Union game on Saturday night.
Right.
And friend of the program.
Cincinnati, yeah.
We have friend of the program, Torrey Smith, coming up at 12:25. Friend of the program, Casey Keeler, 1-0 with the win over UMass. So big stuff for Temple football. But I want to get back into this Jalen Hurts thing of Joe Montana. And I saw the YouTube commenters. Nobody's taking any stock in what Joe Montana said there.
I think someone said he's like Paw. And I was like, oh yeah, he is kind of taking a turn.
Yeah, that guy, I like that guy. Who's that guy again? Where's he? Yeah, that guy. Allen, Burrow, Herbert, and Hurts. If you put those four, your qualifications are guys draft like I wanted the MVP. I wanted a couple pocket passers, and then I wanted the Super Bowl MVP. Is that how you come to that group of four?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree. Josh Allen, I'm a big fan of. I do enjoy Joe Burrow. I don't think it's a secret. I've let it be known.
Yeah.
I think Justin Herbert is completely overrated. But yeah, I'm just guessing he saw like one or two games. Maybe he saw like a game where Josh Allen played against Mahomes in the regular season last year where Allen looked really good. To not have Patrick Mahomes on a list is pretty remarkable. Given what, the man's been to 3 Super Bowls in 3 years. He's won 2 of them. Why wouldn't you have him on a list to build, I don't know, a team around? Because it's a team built around him now, and
Right.
they've done quite well. He has 3 Super Bowls.
I guess age? Are you starting to think that he's in his 30s, that things are going to go the opposite way?
I think you're giving JoJo a little too much credit.
That's what I'm
there.
saying. And also, if I'm going to start a franchise, wouldn't I just want someone that could win one right away? I don't know. Like the idea that something more is promised down the line to me is always kind of a faulty thing. Like if you got a chance to win one right away, I'm still taking.
You're starting franchise and you want to win right away. Jalen Hurts is the obvious choice. I'll give you Josh Allen.
But how do you
Allen,
not have Burrow?
How do you not have Patrick Mahomes
Or Lamar.
or Lamar Jackson? Well, if you had been paying attention, Lamar Jackson, the knock obviously is the playoffs. He doesn't really, but yeah, certainly winning a lot of games.
Still would take him to lead my team. Now, we asked you today to get on the record about your Eagles record. We got him at 12-5, both of us. Our good buddy down in Myrtle Beach, somewhere I will be this weekend. Myrtle Beach area. Going down to visit my sister, Coastal Carolina.
Coastal, that's right.
So our good buddy VT Ron's checking in from down there. What's up, Ron? How are you?
Hey, Ray. Hey, Miss Amy. How y'all doing?
What up, Ron?
Hey, it's been a long time, but I'm on the second leg of a 3-game road trip. I was in Atlanta to watch Tech play against South Carolina. I'm back heading up north from Myrtle Beach. I'm going to go to the game tomorrow night. And then from there, I go to my daughter's in Northern Virginia. That Saturday morning, I get home. I leave her home, and I head to Blacksburg for the Vandy game.
Wow.
One hell of a road trip.
I love it.
Worth it. Yeah, it's great stuff, man. I've been doing it for a long time. So listen, I got to go back to the Birds a little bit. I can't see that team losing more than 5 games. You look at the schedule panned out where are 6, 7, 8 losses? I don't see it. I don't see it at all. You know, the defense is going to be just as solid as it was. I have no worry about replacing Dean for 4 games. You know, it's a team that is built to last, and this team will contend again for a second Super Bowl in a row. I'm positive. My only drawback is the offensive coordinator. I need to see what the coordinator puts on the field once we start for real. That's my concern right there.
So I'm curious. You say you don't
I'm
see.
comfortable with it.
You don't see more than 5 losses on this schedule. Which it's a pretty difficult schedule. So you would say, is it more likely to you that they win 14 games than to win 10 games?
Win 14 games rather. I would say it's closer higher than lower.
All right. I mean, that's I think the
Now, Ray, that means they have to stay healthy though.
Right.
They do have to stay healthy and a healthy and key position. But yeah, I see the higher side. I can see the higher side.
All right, Ron, I appreciate you checking in. I appreciate you checking in with us.
Safe travels, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's an awesome road trip. That's incredible.
Tell the guys from, I assume he said he had children in Northern Virginia, and someone calls it Tech. I grew up in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia Tech is Tech.
Yeah.
Until you get out of there, everybody around, most other people call it VT or full-on Virginia Tech.
I usually go Virginia Tech.
Yeah. It was funny when he said Tech. I was like, that guy's either from Virginia or has lived in Virginia a long time.
Well, he's VT Ron.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I mean.
When your branding is VT Ron.
You guys call him VT.
Yeah.
But I was he's like, for the Tech game. I was like, that took me right back.
Is it crazy for me to say I'd say it's more likely they win 10 than win 14?
I think that is. No, what? You think it's more likely to win 10 rather than 14?
It's a tough schedule. He breaks it out that he doesn't see more than 5 losses. I mean, I'm starting 2-2, and with that, there's potential for more along the line here. We'll get to that coming up. We also have rapid fire with Fadul coming up in the next segment. Yeah, 11:30. People's favorite segment coming up at 12:25. We'll have Torrey Smith. We also got NFL Notes at noon. We got A1. We got a lot still left for you on the show. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Middays 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. We're just one day away from the Eagles opening their season against the Dallas Cowboys. Yesterday was a good day as guard Landon Dickerson was a full participant. The only player that did not partake in practice was Tanner McKee. With Landon Dickerson dealing with some preseason injuries, we received some great insight from Jeff McClain from the Philadelphia Inquirer, who was with Kincade and Salciunas earlier today in regards to Dickerson's status in playing.
I would say so, barring some sort of setback with the back. They can be tricky, big guys, but everything I'm hearing is that he's probably going to be a go to start.
The Eagles kick off at 8:20 tomorrow night. The game will be on NBC. Make sure you turn into the Fanatic for your pregame coverage. The Phillies are back in action tonight. Aaron Nola takes them out against the Brewers. First pitch is set for 7:40, and you can watch the game on NBC Sports Philly. The Phillies currently hold a 5.5 game lead over the Mets. This update's also brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Experience the power, precision, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today. I'm Austin Jones, your home of the best bridge coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Way through the 11 o'clock hour here on the Midday Show alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Austin Jones producing the program. We're going to get to the text line in a second. Would you jump in at 610-632-0975? But I'm curious. The idea that we had right there before the break of more likely 14 than 10. We had some people that chimed in on the YouTube chat. Colby saying that the Eagles win 10 games, this town may burn down. Neil saying that I tend to believe that I'd be closer to 10 than 14. I felt like 12 was my optimistic, like things don't go wrong for you. This is how it works out. 12 wins. Just with the fact you have 11 games against playoff teams from a season ago.
Right.
That's a lot. It's a tough
you think
go.
a lot of the same playoff teams are going to be back. That's
that's also like how chalky my full team NFL thing before the show. If you missed it before the show, I went through on this website. I think it's Playoff Predictors, and you could just pick every NFL game. How chalky that was for me leads me to believe that I need to find a good surprise team that I have not yet discovered, or it's going to be an NFL season without a ton of intrigue for me, because I'm going to feel like I know what was going to happen, and that's never how it never plays how we expect it to
There's
play.
always one or two, obviously.
Right, and there's also a team that gets just decimated by injuries. I think a lot of people, or just flat disappoints. I don't think that's going to be the Eagles, but I'd be more surprised if they won 14 games than I would be if they won 10.
But I guess my thing is, like, I just looked at the schedule and I realized it's tough, and I came to the conclusion immediately. I first was like, well, I think I could see 13, but then I thought that last game won't mean anything, so I always subtract one there.
Yeah, you think that last game's not going to mean anything, which today when I went through it, I did not think that was going to be the case. I ended up having
obviously
win.
It could. The fact it's weird they play the Commanders 2 times in the last 3 weeks. I don't really like the way that that's stacked up, and if I was the Commanders, I wouldn't like it either. I don't think that sets up well for them, but I think that last game won't. I think it'll be a foregone conclusion.
Every game on their schedule to me is a winnable game because of how good they are.
Right.
I think they're favored in almost everyone. Like that's just how
the
good.
Chiefs game is still favored.
Chiefs.
That was like I saw that was like a pick 'em.
Buffalo at the end of the season potentially. Like those are games they might end up dogs in some of these games, but I mean losable games. Chiefs, depending on the health of Stafford, the Rams, the Bucks, we all are concerned about. The Broncos, I think, are going to have a solid season. I don't think they're losing to the Broncos. I don't think they're losing to the Vikings either, but the Vikings have been other people's darlings for this year. They've got the reigning coach of the year. You know what I think about the Packers. After the Packers, they got the Lions. In Dallas, I guess, if you want to go by the whole, like they usually find a way to split. Chargers. Pair of games against Washington and Buffalo. I mean, there's games in there against some formidable opponents that I think. Yeah, I don't know. 14 wins means that you just run through this whole thing.
And honestly, so you go down. You have 2-2, and I think a lot of people think 2-2 coming into the Broncos game because you're figuring the Chiefs at Arrowhead, very tough game, revenge factor. They're going to be super amped up, tough place to play. Though I think the Chiefs, they're okay. I don't look at them to think that there's no way they can't win that game. But I get it. Like, if you want to put that down as an L, I'll give it to you. And then I think PTSD tells us the Bucs game is absolutely the other one. And I don't know that it is. Though I think that the Bucs are fine. I think that they could be, they'll win their division. But, like, you just see that, and you're like, well, we don't play well there, so that's it.
Allow me to rephrase. I have them going 2-2 in September. That makes it nearly impossible. They did it last year, but it makes it nearly impossible for them to run this schedule the way they ran their schedule last year, which is why 14 to me feels less likely than 10.
Now I see what you're saying.
By the way I break out this beginning of the season, I find it very difficult to believe they only lose 3 games. That is more, I think, where my issue comes.
Because you have them 2-2 in September, that would be only one game, maybe even the last game of the year. Or one other, what we did, the Bills?
The Bills in there, I guess the Bills could be a loss. I think they're losing, again, 5 games in there. So if I have five losses already, and 2 of them come early in the season, by the time we get to October, they have to be near perfect the rest of the way. And I think that's just difficult with the schedule in front of them. Like, they got the entire North they have to deal with. They've got Buffalo. They've got a pair of games against the Commanders.
Well, the Packers game got a little bit more interesting, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, the Packers game got a lot more interesting. And I have the Packers, believe it or not, as my top seed. I'm bullish on the Packers. I was bullish on them
Jordan
last year.
Love, yeah.
Well, yeah, now they have, and they're a year
Now they have
older. Now they have Matthew Golden on that offense. They've gotten a year older, which was a very young team last year. They need a more consistent Jordan Love. They were a more consistent Jordan Love away from being a better team last year.
I think it's easier for me to get to 13 or 11, so I can see, or 11 than it is to 13. So I can see why you would say 10 over 14.
All right, we are a couple minutes late to this.
I'll give you that. Sorry.
So I want to make sure we get to this.
Oh, sorry. 11:30.
Everybody's favorite segment.
It's sweet.
5 minutes late here. Rapid fire with Fadul. 5 questions. We're going to go 30 seconds apiece here.
Perfect.
First, Amy Fadul's favorite non-Eagle player to watch in the NFL.
Joe Burrow.
Why?
I mean, come on. Joe Montana said it best. That guy from, actually, is that the only name that he knew?
That was the only name. Joe Burrows, though.
Joe Burrows. Yeah. Well, there's more than one. I like all of the Burrows, but I think he's tremendously fun to watch. It goes back to when I watched him in college at LSU. I thought just the swag with which he plays, the confidence in the pocket with which he operates, and I think he throws a great, certainly very good ball, but a deep ball when he hooks up with Jamar Chase is a thing of true beauty. It's great. It's a great thing to watch. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Saquon Barkley, over under 1,400 rushing yards this year.
Total, including the postseason or regular season?
Regular season.
Oh, okay. Thought I could sneak one by
Yeah,
on
no, you're
that
not
one.
going to sneak one by me on that one.
1,400. That's a lot of yards. I remember we looked this up last year, like after the 2,000-yard season, what did everybody do? And I think Barry Sanders might have gotten close, and he was like the only one that even like really flirted with something like that. But I'm going to say over. I just think that they're not going to go that far away from Saquon. So I'll over. Not a lot over, but I'm going to give me the over on 1,400.
All right. Outside of the Birds, week 1, is there anything that you want to see across the NFL?
I mean, outside for the Birds?
Like the one thing that Amy Fadul sits down Sunday and is like, that's what I got to see.
I mean, I kind of want to see what I really do want to see, and this sounds kind of weird because they're an NFC front runner, but I'd like to see how the Lions do. I'm really curious. I'm excited to see Aiden Hutchinson back. I think that he's a tremendous player, and him being injured last year really affected them. So I'm always pleased when a great player is back on the field. But I'm losing 2 coordinators, as we know here in Philadelphia, is rough, especially when one of them single-handedly revolutionized basically what they'd been doing offensively. So that I'd be most curious and most interested in to see what the Lions look like just out of the gates.
Mentioned X Factor yesterday. ESPN had Mauro Jomo for the Birds. Who would be the X Factor for one Amy Fadul in the 2025 season?
I'm going to go a little bit off the board, and I'm going to say, because I think he's going to play a little bit more than people might think, and I'm going to say Jahad Campbell. I think he's going to get a little bit more run eventually. This is a whole season X Factor. This is not week 1 X Factor.
Whole season. Yeah.
Whole season. Okay, so give me Jahad Campbell. I think he could be a really tremendous addition on this defense that needs a little bit extra physicality and athleticism, and he's got that in spades.
2 more Milwaukee for the Phillies. How many do they win?
1.
All right, that leads us into what's coming up next, because we said yesterday, give me one word to describe the run since the Mets series, because we were all here down horrendous last Thursday. I had a chance to react to the weekend they had. You have not yet on these airwaves. I want one word from you coming up. I'll tell you what my one word was, and how did Amy Fadul feel in the aftershocks of the Mets series, where the Phillies win 4 of 5, and right now, coming off a win over the best team in baseball. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Take you through Middays right here, 97.5 The Fanatic. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. Take you to the midday show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Going to get to that Phillies conversation in just a second, but with Amy Fadul. Austin, working with Amy is just the best.
Oh, that's nice.
Absolutely. Always enjoy working with Amy.
But
today especially, I appreciated the cup of coffee. Not that it's totally out of the normal. This is now, twice in 2 weeks. This is, been...
Play your cards right, maybe tomorrow, too.
Been clutch in doing so. More so than usual, because last week it was the second cup of coffee I had. Today, this is basically the first cup for me.
Yeah, whatever you had earlier doesn't count.
Yeah, so I had a little bit of a situation that I had to go through. I wanted to get coffee last night, so I had it for this morning, because yesterday I try to go to a coffee shop once a week to prep the show. So I'm up early, get out, I go walk. I actually enjoy the neighborhood in the morning with the nice weather.
Love it.
And since I did that yesterday, today I want to make sure I had coffee. I went to go to get the cans I usually get. No free promos here, but I have a brand I really like. They might have a place in Fishtown. Anyone that knows me probably knows what I'm talking about. And I went to go get them. They were out in both the grocery stores I went to, so I ended up going for some off-brand protein coffee crap. I felt like Bill, trying to, I'm going to be tough. It was terrible.
Milk.
It was like some sweet cream latte that just was gross. It was not sweet. It was disgusting. I had a couple of sips of it, and I was like, this is terrible on my drive-in. But I also saw this, and I posted this on Twitter last night. It was a coffee brand called Death Wish Coffee. Would you drink something that's branded Death Wish?
No.
So, unfortunately, curiosity definitely rules the day for me on that one. I didn't buy it because I was concerned drinking it before the show that it mentioned a lot of caffeine, and I thought maybe I would be jittery, kind of over the top. But Death Wish to me is a very, very strong line of people that would either be all in for something because it's I have to try this. Look at it has a skull on the branding here.
Well, it's like when if you like hot wings, people go and I want the
right
Diablo sauce or whatever it is. Why though? Just so you can say you did it.
Well, that was kind of they nearly got me to purchase that last night, and I'm disappointed I didn't because I hated what I bought more.
It made me think of when you said the liquid death water, but it's not a death wish.
Yeah, would you buy?
I've bought liquid death water.
Really?
Yeah, because I wanted to try it, but I
see it's curiosity marketing.
Yeah. Death wish seems worse to me.
Well, yeah, I mean it's definitely. I was wondering what it would do to me,
Maybe is it extra caffeine?
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's extra caffeine.
Yeah, all right.
Well, you better say Four Loko. I'm not getting Four Loko before the show. Jeez, you crazy?
Yeah. I almost said it.
The blue one?
Yeah, it's Mad Dog 2020 over here.
So delicious.
Yeah. All right, so this is, we bring up these things and we get, immediate reaction on this one. So Cousin Ryan in Ardmore is going to fill me in on this Death Wish coffee.
All right.
What do you got for us, Cousin Ryan?
How you guys doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Oh, it's a glorious day. The sun's out. Everything's going well.
So what do you have for me on this Death Wish coffee?
It is a fantastic brew of coffee that will get you wired to no end.
Okay,
and
so
this is exactly what David Robertson needs to drink before he goes in.
What do you have against David Robertson?
He's got to get himself all jacked up, man. He's old. He needs to get himself back to when he was 21 and he was going out partying all the time.
So I'm curious though, Cousin Ryan, would I be able to get through the 4-hour show if I had the Death Wish coffee, or would the 10 o'clock hour be too unbearable because I would be too fired
hyped up?
You would get through it, but you would be tasting colors.
Okay, so you're telling me this is probably a no-go. This is more of a post-show if I have things to do after the show to get myself energized for the rest of the day.
A late 10 p.m. start for a game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but if you have any affliction to having caffeine late, I would not have it after 10 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I don't know what time I thought he was going to say, but that wasn't it. That's impressive.
Years ago, when I was younger in my career as a fireman, I was riding a very busy company, and we would be running 24 calls in 24 hours, and I loved it, except for I was extremely tired. And then I found Death Wish coffee, and I would put 2 in my Keurig, and I would brew the smallest amount, as strong as it would go, and I was wired for 24 hours, and it was great. And then when I came off, I had to go to sleep. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
All right. So that's definitely – I'm glad I didn't make the purchase here. Quick before we let you go, since we got your coffee opinion here. How many wins for the Birds this year?
I think we duplicate last year with some hiccups. The hiccup is the brand-new offensive coordinator. Besides that, it looks like we're ready to roll.
All right.
So it's tough to put a number on it. 11 wins.
All right, sounds good. Cousin Ron, I appreciate you checking in and giving us the feedback on the coffee there. And 11 wins, which is closer to 10 than it is 14. Just saying, Cousin Ron.
That's true. I can get behind that.
Patullo now popping up twice amongst the concerns for people.
I think there's I know that they don't focus on years previous, but I think that it's hard for Eagles fans not to focus on years previous, and there have been some hiccups, even at the start last year with Kellen Moore, who was a more proven offensive coordinator. But then you go back 2 years ago to Brian Johnson. I think that that's where some of it. Not that Kevin Patullo isn't a proven commodity. I think that he's been in there. We all know that. But there's still going to be the questions. Can they adjust on the fly like they did last year, which I think was really one of the biggest reasons why they were able to have that success is they adjusted, so easily and quickly.
I'm curious how many more people share that, the concern with Kevin Patullo. Like, I think I was more concerned about before the offseason. Now, the more I hear them talk and just how clean the operation looked for him preseason-wise, I'm not necessarily too taken aback. And I also I just think they're talent-proof in a way. And if that changes.
Yeah. Offensively, you would think you'd be able to roll out any number of things.
I guess I felt that way before Brian Johnson. So maybe I am going in a little bit naive here, feeling good about things. We also had Kieran on our YouTube chat that he's had the Death Wish coffee once. It is the most shook I've been in my life. Part of me now has to try it, right? I've heard so much about this Death Wish coffee now. I feel like I kind of have to.
Ooh.
Austin's giving me the nod here.
Yeah, you got to try it. So the next day,
not over the next. Listen, we have very high stake shows over the next 2 days. Okay, this is Eagles preview and Eagles reaction. Maybe next week we'll throw a Death Wish coffee in there.
In like 2 weeks, the Phillies play in the West Coast. Maybe that might be a situation. They've those 10 o'clock games.
All right, react to the Dodgers game with a little Death Wish coffee.
That's the only time that I would use any kind of caffeine is those late games.
You know who's really thrilled about my coffee conundrum?
Who?
Death Wish Coffee, because we've talked about them a ton right now. All right, coming up, NFL notes at noon. Plus, we'll get to the text line at 610-632-0975 on a number of our topics today. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Take you through Middays, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. We're just 1 day away from the Eagles opening their season against the Dallas Cowboys. Yesterday was a great day as guard Landon Dickerson was a full participant in practice. The only player that did not partake was backup quarterback Tanner McKee. With Landon battling some preseason injuries during training camp, we've received some great insight from Jeff McClain, who's with the Philadelphia Inquirer, earlier this morning as he joined Kincade and Salciunas and has a particular way he's feeling in regards to Landon playing.
I would say so, barring some sort of setback with the back. They can be tricky, big guys, but everything I'm hearing is that he's probably going to be a go to start.
The Eagles kick off at 8:20 tomorrow night, and the game will be on NBC. Make sure you turn into the Fanatic for your pregame coverage. The Phillies are back in action tonight as Aaron Nola takes the mound against the Brewers. First pitch is for 7:40, and the Phillies still have a 5.5 game lead over the New York Mets in the NL East. This update's also brought to you by Discover. Do you know what's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide? If you guessed Discover, you guessed right, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. I'm Austin Jones, and your home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Closing in on the 12 o'clock hour here on 97.5 The Fanatic. You're tuned in to WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Coming up, it's the NFL Notes at noon, but before Austin Jones gets us there, Austin, let's go to that text line, see what we got on a number of things we're talking about.
Yeah, so we'll continue the first round of texts in regards to the Death Wish coffee. That guy was completely over-exaggerating Death Wish. I drink a Death Wish K-Cup every morning, and it has the same caffeine content as a Bang energy drink.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So, might be overstating it, but I'm not an energy drink guy. For as much caffeine as I have with the coffee, I never have gotten to the energy drink level of things. I know Amy Fadul cracks like 3 Celsius before she goes on the air, and
No, you've seen me.
Be careful
after,
with them Celsius. Might be a high noon.
Rave's seen me after a Celsius. It is not. I don't drink caffeine, so it's very. Oh, it's something.
Yeah. So I'm not a huge energy. I'm not at all an energy drink guy. So comparing it to a Bang energy drink might actually scare me off just about as much as Cousin Ryan's call. But I think for the content, I might have to just do the Death Wish coffee just to see how fired up I get, to see what energy I've got.
Yeah. One last text on it. This is JB in Pottstown. I used to drink Wake the F Up coffee, which has 430 milligrams of caffeine per 12 ounces. Apparently, Death Wish is 700 plus milligrams of caffeine. Godspeed, Ray.
700. We got to look this up.
All right, yeah, maybe not. Actually, maybe not for the content. Maybe.
Holy cow.
Oof. I drink a decent amount. I'd probably have a cup or two of coffee a day at this point.
Right, same.
700 is a lot.
Seems like a lot.
Seems a little excessive. What do we got on the football topics?
All right. So this is Bill from Royersford. He said, I'm a huge Eagles fan, and I can't stand the Cowboys. To be honest, I feel bad for the actual Cowboys fans. I live in Texas, not over here, as they have Jerry Jones as their owner. As for the Cockroach Dallas fans in Philly, I love nothing more than to see them suffer. Don't take any of them into the Eagles fold and make them have to suffer for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, this goes back to your buddy that has absolutely no place in the Eagles fan base, with all due respect to your buddy.
It's fine.
I don't know.
No sweat off my back.
Yeah, it's just...
He realizes.
Stay on that side. You know, I guess I'll see you at the Phillies parade, but even that kind of grosses me out.
Yeah, because knowing like in a couple of months he's going to be wearing a Cowboys jacket.
Yeah, well, just knowing that, like, on Thursday afternoon, on Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock, he's rooting for the Phillies against the Brewers, and then at 8:20, he's on the other side. Like, I kind of want you to stay on that side. That grosses me out. I'm not a big fan of that one.
All right, we'll go one more right here. This is C from Bucks County. I don't think it's an issue for the Eagles to have another run-heavy offense again while being at the bottom of the league in passing attempts. A.J. Brown said he gets the most satisfaction by dominating defensive backs in the run game. He said he wants to put his stamp on being the best wide receiver in the league. How do you think that's going to sit with him if he feels that he's not being utilized to the best of his abilities? He's been paid. He's got a Super Bowl ring. The only thing left for him to do is put up monster numbers, something to monitor.
Yeah, a lot of people, like, the line of questioning yesterday when it was asked of Sirianni, and it ended up being a Sealski column today in the Inquirer. I thought it pertained to A.J. Brown. The Sealski column went more to Devontae Smith and how he feels.
Because when you're listening to the questions or reading it initially, I thought it had an A.J. Brown vibe, and I think that's also a remnant from last season where there was obviously some discord as far as getting targets and getting those guys involved and whatever else early on in the season or even later in the season. But at that point, they were winning and Saquon Barkley was rolling, so I don't think it was as big a deal. But yeah, it was interesting when I read Mike's article, and I thought, oh, okay, well, that's an interesting take on it. Overall, I mean, it's a very good piece.
Yeah, they've been compensated, which was a big sticking point for the Sealski column, which, like, these guys have been paid, so it doesn't really impact you as much when you're not chasing that contract. Instead, you've been taken care of. And for AJ, to say he hasn't put up the monster numbers kind of ignores 22 and 23 for him. I mean, those were both nearly 1,500-yard seasons for him.
Yeah.
He goes over 1,000 again last year. I'm sure he would love to do more than that. I'm sure he'd love to see more than that. I think the texter said they were fine with the more run-heavy offense. I don't know necessarily whether or not you're going to be granted the option. Not that everyone can stop Saquon Barkley, but if you're a defensive coordinator coming into the season, yeah, you watched what happened when the Chiefs sold out to stop the run, and you don't want to see that happen to you. But you also might look at that game and be like, all right, well, if defensively they're not as dominant as they were in that game, can we take elements of what the Chiefs did to slow down the running game and potentially beat them just by not being as bad? Like, hey, man, go talk to the offense. Tell them not to be as bad as the Chiefs were offensively in that game.
And then you can go with that.
So I think you will have to throw more. I think you have to find more passing offense this season. I don't necessarily think that's
I think the effectiveness
here.
The effectiveness of it needs to really be ratcheted up. It's not just throwing for the sake of throwing. And I think that's where I think people lost a little bit of it before. It's like you don't just air it out just for the sake of airing out. Obviously, if the game plan calls for it, and what you look at what they were able to do against the Chiefs and even the Commanders to a lesser degree, they were able to just to be able to go out there and throw it and have those deep routes, but they used it in a judicious way. It's not like they're just out there just air raiding it out, just throwing the ball just to throw it.
All right, it is officially the 12 o'clock hour here, which means in a second we'll get to the NFL notes at noon. But first, I want to let you know the 12 o'clock hour is brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits for up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at servicefirsthvac.com. Maybe I don't need the caffeine.
You got it.
Maybe I don't need the caffeine. All right, Austin Jones, hit the music.
All righty, so here we go. Right, I got a little scared when I saw the show sheet from you.
Oh.
Because we have a influencer that is making a pre-appearance before we get to your appearance. I Show Speed, or Speed as the internet likes to call him, is an influencer that has over 41 million followers on TikTok. He was at the Eagles practice, and he's a very athletic guy, doing backflips, somersaults, all that. And he likes to challenge pro athletes to races. And he challenged this Eagle to a race, and we wonder who would win.
You good? You get ready for the season?
Yeah, so we play, what's today? Thursday. We play Thursday. We play in 2 days.
Y'all playing 2 days?
Yeah. How long you been out here for?
I've been here for like 3 hours.
Another time, I see you being a lot of football players, so maybe in the off season we'll link up and we'll get a little race on.
A little race?
Yeah. You think you can beat me?
100% I can beat you.
What makes you think?
100%. Because your size. Like, I just know I can beat you.
Like soccer, you gotta go back, go watch them highlights real quick, and then I'll let you.
Nah, trust me. I seen the. I seen it. I'm faster than you. I never said I'm stronger, but I'm faster than you, 100%.
Thoughts?
I'm all for a confident person. With all due, no respect here. What are you saying?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the oldest 25-year-old that's ever lived. Speed, totally not in my world. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, Speed's in town. I Show Speed. I was like, Speed? I thought like maybe we're talking about what's the Freeze guy? Yeah, the Freeze guy from the Braves. I was like, oh, did they bring him up here? Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, what is?
I am Speed.
And I am Speed. I Show Speed. Who is? What is? What are we doing here? Also, is it like the least bit ironic maybe that on the day they're like, oh, banner nights tomorrow, they just open the doors to the NovaCare facility to this streamer to hang out with them? Like, I get it. It's really not going to impact one way or another the way they play. But this whole, we're so focused on the next season, and then you got I Show Speed just walking around NovaCare wondering what Howie Roseman does.
He played in college. I Show Speed did. He has an actual name.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he was fantastic at whatever he did. I'm sure he's very quick. I mean, he's not beating Saquon in a race. And I was just so lost yesterday as to, like, hey, we're 2 days from the season, and there's a streamer hanging out at NovaCare Complex. Like, maybe I am the oldest 25-year-old that's ever lived. But I was like,
also, I like
who in the hell is this guy?
He, like, sized up Barkley. And it's like, oh, because you're, whatever, like, stockier than me.
Yeah, your legs are too big.
That's not how that works.
You know what, Saquon? I could also take you in a race because I'm thinner than you.
Yeah.
Like, what?
That's good stuff.
All right, continuing on. Geno Smith was traded from the Seahawks to the Raiders, and he has some particular stats when it comes to where he's playing at. If you're going to be a bettor, you might want to look at their schedule. Former Eagle Chris Long from the Green Light Podcast gave some interesting numbers surrounding Geno Smith, and give a listen.
There's Dome Geno and there's Outside Geno, and they are totally different players. This is something we have talked about on this show for a number of years here. He plays 5 outdoor games this year. He played in 11 last year. Geno is going to go fucking off. That's what I'm saying. Nolan, I said last night, look me up some Geno stats. I'm too lazy to look them up because I've done it too many times. times. Nolan, hit me with the figures.
All right, so over the last 3 years, his 3 years as a starter in Seattle, indoor or like retractable roof stadiums, 13 games.
Well, on that one,
Okay,
I'm going to
sorry about
believe
that,
that there's a difference on that one. Better Geno inside or outside here?
Yeah, so that's on me. My full apology, but he essentially has a higher completion percentage, more touchdowns, less interceptions, less sacks. He plays 11 home games or home and away games that are indoor this year.
So it's interesting. You bring up the indoor-outdoor Geno here, and my roommate was actually talking to me last night. He's like, you know who I'm buying this year? It's like, I'm buying a little bit of the Raiders being better. I was like, all right, I see that. I actually went through their schedule, and it is, 1, more indoors. 2, if there's a team that wants to surprise you,
Maybe the Raiders.
I had them at 7 wins,
Okay.
which felt like a lot for the Raiders.
They were a 4-win team last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Taking the leap forward. If they,
Almost
like,
double.
I have not gone through exactly where they are. Let me get you that full Raiders rundown here. But I think there's a little bit to that. Pete Carroll knows what he's doing. They've got obviously top draft pick
And he wanted Geno there for a specific reason.
and in Genti, and also I think Geno is better than what he gets credit for. I think maybe the overcorrection for people talking about Geno and the way he's played recently, he might start being a little bit overrated. But look at the end of their schedule here. They go after the bye: Jacksonville, Denver, Dallas, Cleveland, L.A., Denver. The Eagles are tough. Texans, New York, Kansas City. The beginning of their schedule has Chicago, Indianapolis, and Tennessee on it. Depending on how you feel about the West, whether you think the Chargers are going to have the season they should have, the Broncos going to have the season they should have, they could find their way. Again, I think they're going to be an average, just below average team, but I could see a world in which maybe Geno makes some noise there.
Again,
I have them, let me put it to you this way. I have them better in my wins and loss than the Steelers. I have them better than anyone in the AFC South. I have them better than all but the Patriots in the AFC East. So I'm at least buying them a little bit. Not to the extent of I'm going to put them in the postseason. What else we got?
Alrighty, this audio is going to be a bit cleaner because this gentleman's a little bit more classy. Pro Football Hall of Famer Steve Young did an interview with Graham Bessinger, and Young spoke about how he did not get off to the best relationship with the 49ers when he was traded there from the Buccaneers back in the day. And he was petty as he would not cash his checks in, and the 49ers gave him a very interesting phone call when it came to tax season.
When I wasn't playing, the one thing I didn't want to do was sit around. I'd rather go to law school than sit and watch. This is the immaturity and stupidity of me. I was like, I'm not going to cash my check. You know what? I'm just going to let him sit in the drawer because I'm not playing, so it doesn't matter. And I was renting a little room from Harris Barton, my teammate. And I went back to law school in the off season, and Carmen Policy called me and said, general manager of the team, and said, hey, look, you're screwing up the taxes. Where's the checks, man? You know, we got to file. It's April. We got to file. And I forgot I'd left them in the drawer in Harris's house. So I called Harris. I go, Harris, would you go into my room and just see if they're all in there? And Harris, he tells a funny story. He goes in there, he's like, 16 checks, you know, pretty big checks. He was like, what are you doing, man? And I go, do me a favor.
You remember for how much?
I was, it was good money, man.
$4 million, she just said, sitting in your dresser
drawer. So I
drawer.
said, do me a favor, man. You know, would you gather them and send them to me? Because I gotta, back then there was no, you know, you couldn't take a picture of it or anything. And so he sent them to me, we got them. I finally gave in because of the audit for the 49ers. Reluctantly gave in, Graham, reluctantly.
$4 million just
hang it
sitting
out
there?
on paper.
I freaked out when I moved because I went through a drawer and I was like, oh, there's a couple checks in here. I hope that I,
can still.
And it was like $25. It's like $40. $4 million?
I don't understand.
Better man than I. I'd be running that. I mean, I got
Like,
direct deposit,
I had to
but
go find him and actually like cash him.
any freelance work I do, I'm running right to the bank. And really, I'm running right to my online banking.
Yeah, it's where you
Picture
take the
of it,
picture.
Yeah. And I hate it because our new countertops are like white. So like the check, I need a darker background for it. And it's like the check doesn't go.
Stovetop.
What if I accidentally hit the thing and catches on fire before I can?
Well, that seems like a bigger problem if you're accidentally turning your stove on. You have to push down. But yeah, Okay.
It's real.
That was
it's a real concern.
That was a great NFL
Yeah.
news.
Well, woo, man.
It's exciting.
A fiery NFL note.
Probably my last day here now.
That's why we have the dump button. You know? That's why we have the dump button. It's okay. We talked about making mistakes earlier. Everyone makes them. All right. Coming back, I want to run through our records one more time. And also, biggest threat in the NFC. Who is it for the Birds? We'll get to that coming up next. She's Amy Fidel. I'm Ray Dunn. Middays here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know.
Like waiting with bated breath to hear what anybody else.
So
the A1 is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm nervous. Amy, have you ever had a slip of the tongue on the air?
I once said.
Well, don't say it.
No.
You're still building back
No,
up.
I've never said anything. I was
Okay.
working in Kentucky, and I said, I still don't say this word, but a guy made a great shot in the Kentucky-Louisville game, and I said it was a hell of a shot, and I got a couple of calls.
Kentucky. Yeah.
I was working in it's kind of the buckle of the Bible Belt.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was gonna
Or I
say.
guess Nashville's probably the buckle of. Either way, it's down in that area, and they did not appreciate.
Everything that happened in Nashville holy? They really could
Well, it's something.
buckle in the Bible.
Yeah, I've said that, and I was like, oh, oops. I've never that's more like, and it was late. It was the 11 o'clock news, and it really was. Patrick Sparks had a great shot. It was just more my natural reaction of like,
Incredible.
oh my gosh.
An
But
amazing shot.
Yeah.
I have had one slip.
Where you said an actual curse word?
It wasn't necessarily that I said the curse word. It was that I had the fusion of two words that ended up slipping in, and it was similar to crap.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, and we had the dump button. I actually, sitting here, I did the, hey, let me see if the producer's going to get that in the last segment, and Austin grabbed it. I, in that moment, just went like, that was probably a little too close. I'm just going to take that one for myself, make sure. And I remember Vito being like, what'd you say last night to open up? I think it was Sixers All Access that I was doing. And I was like, it was a 6 o'clock show that I just like at 6:02.
Was it last season? Because,
I think it was. But it's my way of saying, been there, buddy. Been there.
It's all right.
We'll all survive. Coming up in the next segment at 12:25, we'll be joined by Torrey Smith, Super Bowl 52 champion, former Eagle, two-time Super Bowl champion, going back to his time with the Ravens. Plenty I want to get into with the start of the football season with him. But real quick, your biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC. What team sticks out the most to you?
I mean, it's weird because when you look at it, there really isn't a team that I'm like, oh, wow. I do think the Packers are a legit team. I think they're always a legit team, but I think their defense obviously got infinitely better. I said I was very interested in the Lions because I really want to see how they can work through that. But if I had to really choose, the Buccaneers are an interesting team to me. But Packers are probably my choice right now.
It's going to be Packers for me. It was the Rams all offseason, and then
I remember
Matt Stafford, just aged in front of all of us.
I was with you. He's been aging, fella.
Yeah, but the back. I mean, he's a 37-year-old with a back problem. That's not good.
Yeah, well, he'd had the back problem. I remember being with you months ago, earlier in this summer, and it's the Rams, and I'm like, Matt Stafford. I just didn't see
he
it.
missed 3 weeks of practice, and every day they told me he was coming back. He didn't show up.
Started training camp. I was like, nah, man, I don't. That doesn't. That team didn't.
Congrats for being consistent over there. Some of us have a problem, I guess.
Well, you have a problem because you really are enamored with Jordan Love.
And I said they were a more consistent Jordan Love away from being like Jordan Love in that postseason game against the Eagles was a problem. I believe in his ability, and I believe in the team around him. So if he plays up to his ability with that team around him, I think they're going to be really good.
Yeah.
This is a big year for Jordan Love. A big year for those of us that have sung his praises before. All right, I'm aware of it. I'm being consistent on that one.
Yeah, the thing is you have to be consistent. So, like, when Justin Herbert has a good year, I will have to come back on here and eat a little crow. But I still don't think it's going to happen.
All right, that's fine. Listen, as long as your midday host is consistent, is really what we're looking for in this world. That's what I've been told.
As long as you're consistent.
And sports talk radio, as long as the middays guy's consistent, that's what people are looking for.
That's what they say.
Come up next, Torrey Smith, Super Bowl 52 champion. We will talk with him about this Birds team. I'm really curious to ask him about, because he was on that 2012 Ravens team. They come back the next year. They go 8-8. And I'm curious what it was like kind of putting to bed a Super Bowl and trying to come back and compete again. Also, as a wide receiver, we talked about the receivers getting the touches and a run-dominant offense. There's a lot I want to get into with Torrey Smith coming up. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. We're just one day away from the Eagles opening their season against the Cowboys. Yesterday was a great day as guard Landon Dickerson was a full participant in practice. The only player that did not partake in practice was Tanner McKee. With Dickerson battling some preseason injuries, we received some great insight from Jeff McClain, who's with the Philadelphia Inquirer, as he joined Kincade on Salciunas this morning in regards to Dickerson playing.
I would say so, barring some sort of setback with the back. They can be tricky, big guys, but everything I'm hearing is is that he's probably going to be a go to start.
The Eagles kick off at 8:20 tomorrow night. You can tune into the Fanatic for your pregame coverage. The Phillies are back in action tonight as Aaron Nola is on the mound. First pitch is set for 7:40, and the Phillies still hold a lead over the Mets. This time it's at 5.5 games for the NL East. This update's also brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Austin Jones, your home with the best sports coverage at 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
That's right. Welcome back into the Midday Show. Working our way through the 12 o'clock hour alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn, and I'm tremendously excited for who we have on the Comcast Business Hotline. Talked to him a number of times through last season, and I figured if you want to take a blueprint for what you did last season here in Philadelphia is a pretty good thing to take and just apply to the next season. So the day before we get the season started, want to go talk to Super Bowl 52 champion, former Philadelphia Eagle and two-time Super Bowl champion Torrey Smith, who joins us on the Comcast Business Hotline. Torrey, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How y'all doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Football season's about to get underway here in Philadelphia, and I want to start our conversation with you today asking about defending a Super Bowl title. Obviously, your experience in Baltimore, you win, and then to get back to work the next year. What is that like? What is the messaging like inside of a room? Because the Eagles have taken the approach of, we're not going to talk about what we did last year. It's all on to the next year. What do you make of their approach, and what's it like to return the next year off of a Super Bowl victory?
Yeah, I mean, their approach is the right way simply because it's the truth. You can't worry about what happened last year simply because it was last year, right? You have a brand-new team. In this case, for the Eagles, they did a better job than most people at retaining their core. So oftentimes when teams win the Super Bowl, there's some of their core players get opportunities elsewhere. Maybe the timing of free agency. Maybe they cost a little bit too much and they have to cut in the cap. So you often lose players. This Philadelphia Eagles team lost some guys, but they're just loaded they've ever been, right? It's a great team that everything's there that's primed to do it again. Now, people will tell you, and I'll never forget Warren Sapp telling me, hey, you ready? I'm like, ready for what? He was like, y'all going to get everybody's best shot every single game. I'm like, well, what's that say about them if they don't do that every single game anyway? Right? So to me, it was never a mindset thing of worrying about, hey, you guys won it. And we ended up being a game short of making the playoffs for us in defending our title. But the reality of it is that it is a situation where no matter what, you can't really avoid it. But that has absolutely nothing to do with the week that's in front of you. So it's not just coaches talk or basic media info that you're getting on, hey, we're only worrying about this, because it's the truth, right? In this life, for all of us, we have to learn to control what we can control. And that's all you can do as a team to get ready for trying to win the next one.
Yeah, you mentioned obviously being in that experience and what Warren Sapp had to say. And you guys, when you were with the Ravens, you lost a lot on defense. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, these are huge, huge losses. And the Eagles, when you look at them right now, they've lost veterans on the defensive side. Obviously, Brandon Graham being a big one of those. But other guys going on, as you mentioned, golden opportunities for them. And maybe that wasn't going to work out here given the way that the Eagles are going to want to pay people down the line. But how much did you guys talk about and look around and try to, discuss the culture that you had here with Philadelphia and then obviously down there in Baltimore with the guys that they were brought in? Because there is a lot expected when you're the Super Bowl champs.
Yeah, but the thing about it that really stands out the most is that when you have a great culture like they had in Baltimore and still have in Baltimore, and what you have in Philadelphia, like, they're there, right? The culture is there. Guys just come in and you want to buy into it because everyone wants to win, right? It's just a way of doing everything. And being up there earlier in camp, this Eagles team feels just as good as it's ever been, right? I didn't even know they won the Super Bowl based off the energy that you get. Guys are working their tails off. They're competing, right? They're trying to focus on their body, being healthy, doing all the things they have to do, just simply being pros. And this is a team that doesn't seem like it's big-headed. There's going to be bumps in the road, Philadelphia, media people as well, right? They're not going to be the hottest, right? I mean, there was a time last year where if we could fast forward and you're like, hey, this team won the Super Bowl based on what we heard in the beginning of the year from fans and media, you would have never thought that, right? But that's why you go through the journey, and each and every year it looks different. So just because you won the Super Bowl last year doesn't guarantee that you're going to get off to a fast start, right? It doesn't guarantee it, even though you have the coaches to do it. You have the players that understand what it takes. Winning in the NFL is hard. It's hard. And in Philadelphia, over recent years, everyone's been spoiled by that. And so you have to continue to remind yourself that this year is a brand-new journey, right? I remember for years, my cousin is one of the biggest Eagles fans I know, and he would always get clowned at the family reunion and cookouts and Thanksgiving because the Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl. Now, he will not be quiet because in the last 2 years, the people we talk to trash with the most, Cowboys fans and Commanders fans in our household, in our family, he's the king now, right? And it's like it's all about what you do now and being relevant. And this Eagles team, because of what Howie Roseman has done, putting this roster together, because of Jalen Hurts growing into the player that he's been, you're primed for a successful run each and every year. So this team is ready. If there's any team that's built for a repeat, this team is ready.
Hand up on that one. You mentioned the media noise at the beginning of last season. I was right there with the what is going on with this team with the 2-2 start. I want to get to, you mentioned being up there at camp earlier this year. What was your biggest takeaway from watching Eagles camp in person?
And I'm just watching the leadership. You know, I enjoy watching Jalen Hurts practice and lead and compete. I enjoy watching. I'm a person that's so sold on Saquon Barkley, watching him over the years from afar, watching him in practice, you know, seeing him on the field, that if someone told me that Saquon Barkley was the best football player they've ever seen, I wouldn't even argue with him, right? And what I mean by that is the way he carries himself, the way he leads, and what he's capable of physically doing, right? He's one of the best to have played this game. And so when you see guys like that going full speed in camp, when you see guys like that setting the tone, like if you are watching guys in random green jerseys practice, you wouldn't know that's a team that won the Super Bowl and has some kind of big hit, because they don't. They're simply focused on right now being the best they can be. And I think it's very easy to be that way when you have a leader like Saquon that only knows work. When you have a leader like Jalen Hurts that doesn't even know he won the Super Bowl last year, right? Like, so it's crazy when you think about it, A.J. Brown, and then the guys on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, the guys are just hungry. And when you have a culture that's built that way, it tends to lead to success.
We got to ask you about Saquon and what would it have been like for you last year if you played on this team with the way that it was distributed as far as the ball, because we've all heard that, you know, the passing game wasn't as effective. The usage rate, though maybe involved with the same numbers, but it didn't feel the same, right, for the wide receivers. And then you have this guy who's absolutely running roughshod, you know, close to setting a record, a single season. You know, you have to appreciate it, but at the same time, we all know you receivers, you guys want to get the ball, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants to be involved, but I think when you put the team first, the ball tends to find you. You know, every time that little devil on my shoulder popped in my head, like, dang, it'd be nice to be involved at some point, right? Like, you know, it creeps up. It tends to be, in my mind, and my track record is when my mind starts to think that way, I'm not ready when the opportunity comes. Mm-hmm. And so I think when you have a team like this, like both Super Bowl teams I've been on did not have a 1,000-yard receiver. So there was that type of balance. Yet here in Philadelphia, they had individual guys that were able to still accomplish that, right? So I still think the opportunities are there. And as a receiver, you want a strong run game. Why? Because you're going to get one-on-one matchups. And so when they have the extra man in the box and teams want to play man-to-man, now you can go out and just beat your guy. So I was always a big fan of having a running back that can play. In our case, it was Ray Rice, right? And then we had a gang of guys here in Philadelphia when we won the Super Bowl. So, you know, having a run game is important because when you're one-dimensional, it makes it really hard. And for those guys, I get the frustration. Sometimes they missed on some really good opportunities, right? And sometimes that kills momentum, but every single quarterback does that. So the hate that Jalen gets, it simply doesn't make any sense to me because he's one of the top guys in the league, right? And he's proven, and I think sometimes people get caught up in stats. The thing that matters to me the most for any quarterback, because they all get paid a lot of money, so don't talk about what they're getting paid. They all get paid a lot of money. The point is, can you win the game because this guy is your quarterback? It's that simple. And Jalen Hurts has been a guy that's proven that you can win because he is your quarterback.
Well, you answered the question I was going to go to right there, because I've seen you as a staunch defender of Jalen Hurts. And I think this offseason, the conversation around him, we've, you know, I think reacted to about 75 different lists and about 75 different analysts finding a way to discredit Hurts. So you answered that question for me. I'm curious for you, now getting to watch up close camp, what are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has and what, I guess, what it looks like to watch him lead this group following last season?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the same. You know, I love Coach Sirianni. The thing I love about him is that he hasn't changed because people thought he should change. And that goes from day one. Right, I think he's just continued to learn and grow and thrive in his role as a communicator, as a leader, as a guy that the locker room believes in. Right, and the proof is in the pudding. Right, the way that he's been able to lead his team, there are very few coaches in the history of the game that have accomplished what he has accomplished. And he's only been going for a few years, right? So when you think about it that way, he's done an amazing job. And he's still young, and he's fresh, and he has the ability to relate to the guys in the locker room. So I don't think he has to do any more proving anything. He's done it. Right now it's just about being consistent, getting the best out of the guys year in, year out. But he's proven that he's a coach that, honestly, when you talk about down the line, I mean, he's been at 2 of them, 2 Super Bowls. I mean, there's coaches who we consider legends who haven't even been to one, right? So I think what he's been able to accomplish, he has to have a little bit more respect on him, on his name, and people won't say that, but I can because I don't play and it doesn't matter. But the reality of it is he's a guy that's done a great job leading this Philadelphia Eagles team, and his future is bright.
I got to ask you about, as a guy that's been through the NFL and seen so many different changes, personnel-wise and obviously coaching-wise, there are some questions as far as how this offense is going to look with Kevin Patullo as the new offensive coordinator. How much stock do you put in a change from a Super Bowl champion winning offensive coordinator to a new one, albeit a guy that's been in the system?
Yeah, to me, there's a level of continuity that's already there. I've never been a person that was bothered by change as much. I get people. I think chemistry matters, but more so than anything else, do you trust the guy that's making the calls? I was on the Super Bowl team in Baltimore where we fired our offensive coordinator a few weeks before the playoffs started, and we were a winning team.
Yeah.
Right? So, to me, like, did our offense do a little bit better? Not right away, right? But we ended up getting hot. So to me, it doesn't matter. The plays are the plays, right? You know what you're doing. It's about going out there and executing it. So it's not like they have to reinvent the wheel. They know what they do well, and they're going to have opportunities, and they have the athletes to go out there and simply get it done. And by the way, let's not forget about the big guys who are the best in the league. So this team, it's very easy to be an offensive coordinator when you have a stable quarterback, 2 of the best receivers in the league, the best running back in the league, and a defense that has your back. I mean, it makes an offensive coordinator's job easy. So I'm not trying to say that coach doesn't have to work hard or he's in a situation where, hey, it's all on the players. But the reality of it is his job is a lot easier because the deficiencies are a lot lower than most teams.
So I'm curious, are we going to put Torrey Smith down for an Eagles-Ravens Super Bowl?
Listen, there's no one that prays for a Ravens-Eagles Super Bowl more than me for completely selfish reasons, the opportunities that come from it. But no, all jokes aside, I have a lot of love and respect for both organizations. I'm very close to both organizations still to this day. I talk to Big Dom all the time, having the opportunity to pop up in Philly whenever I can. And obviously I live in Maryland, so I get to see and go to basically every Ravens home game. So I'm extremely thankful for those relationships that I've been able to create on and off the field, and those 2 cities. But everyone knows my wife's from Conshohocken, so I'm always up there anyway, my family and stuff. So both areas feel like home to me, even though I was only there for one special year.
Well, as a fellow Virginia native, I do have to ask you one quick question, Torrey, before we let you go. It's Chesterfield County here, Stafford for you. You still hate UVA?
1,000%. 1,000%. My hate for UVA hasn't gone anywhere.
They missed the boat.
Oh man, my feelings to this day. I had to pray for forgiveness.
Yeah.
With the type of hate that I have for UVA. I will tell you this: Coach Mike Groh, who we won the Super Bowl with, who was the receivers coach, for the Eagles, recruited me when I was 14 years old. He was the guy I had to say, hey, I'm not going to UVA. So we had the opportunity to do something together. And by the way, I love Coach Groh now after hating him for all those years. So it's all love.
It was good stuff. It was good stuff.
Real quick before we let you go, you talked about organizations. I want to talk real quick about Level 82 and all the work you're doing. I know you guys do some back-to-school programs. I'm curious for you, what do you guys have going on right now, and how can people help support you?
Man, you can go to level82.org. The website is actually under construction, but we're about to do a nice little raffle to raise money. The rec center is opening up in West Baltimore next month. Took it over when I retired. The Ravens donated $30 million towards it, so it's going to be a crazy project. With tutoring, after-school program, all the support the kids need. And also started a tackle football program this year, and I had no idea, because I've been very privileged with my football experience, that football was just daggone expensive. So we've been having the opportunity to start a program, but beyond that, mentor the kids. Now the school started. with progress reports. I'll pop up if their behavior doesn't align, and we use the game of football, the game that changed my life, as a vessel to help impact kids. So it's so much bigger than just sports, but we had the opportunity to impact them there. We have a lot of great players up in the Pennsylvania area at LaSalle that play for our team in Germantown and Kalamazoo. Some of the best players up in PA play for us. So it's really cool, sports-wise, but also bigger than that, supporting families and giving them the resources they need to be successful.
Love it.
That's awesome. Again, level82.org. Real quick for you, Torrey, before we let you go, thing you're most excited to watch with football kicking off tomorrow?
Man, just the energy from the crowd, man. No one deserves victory, the feeling of watching that banner drop, more than the folks in Philadelphia. So I don't think you can ever take it lightly, because literally, as plenty of folks listening to this call, families may know, you may not see it in your lifetime. So it's really cool to know that people are going to experience that. The tears are going to fall, and honestly, I'm not afraid to say it. Some folks are going to be a little spoiled here. The younger generation is going to be very spoiled with what the Eagles have been able to do, and that's a beautiful thing.
You're speaking to someone kind of part of that younger generation that just knows this team as a winner from what it's been. But, Torrey, thank you so much for making the time for us today.
I appreciate y'all having me.
That's Torrey Smith right there on the Comcast Business Hotline, Super Bowl 52 champion. Always great to catch up with him. And I think part of the cheery mood also, Maryland with the opening weekend win.
Absolutely.
I wasn't going to bring it up. Wasn't going to bring it up to him for him to get chesty early on in the season, because I know last year on this program he had a back and forth about Maryland. Penn State didn't go too great for him, so I do want to.
Started with the wins.
Want to know
more than Alabama can say.
That's right. Well, that's it. I have one of my brother's best friends from high school is a Texas grad, and I did the old my alma mater's 1-0.
Still a good team.
Yeah, it's still a good team, but my alma mater's 1-0. His 0-1. I'm just saying.
There you
go. That's all I had. I had 1 week right there. But always great to catch up with Torrey Smith there, talking about a number of different things. We'll react to that coming up, because I thought his perspective on the receivers not getting the number of touches they might want in a game was pretty funny, and just his mindset following a Super Bowl victory. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, a Birds Insider Update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I'm Austin Jones with your Birds Insider Update. We're just 1 day away from opening night, with the Cowboys coming to town to face the Eagles. The Eagles have dealt with some injuries, but there was some good news leaving practice yesterday. Jalen Carter, Landon Dickerson, Drew Makuba, and Joshua Uche were all full participants. The only player that did not partake was backup quarterback Tanner McKee. Head coach Nick Sirianni spoke to media on Tuesday, and he has a very clear message going into this season, and I just want you guys to hear it.
The most important thing that we do is just make sure that the job description is very clear. So I take a lot of pride that in here that they leave this team meeting and there's no question of what's required for me. I want them to play tough, detailed together, and they know exactly what that vision looks like.
In case you missed it, the Eagles have been messaging to the fan base that they're advocating for the individuals that have tickets to go to the game to show up early, because their Eagles are dropping their Super Bowl 59 banner. Interestingly enough, they said that if you do not have tickets, please do not come down to the lots to tailgate. Well, I wish them the best of luck with those requests. And tonight at 8 p.m., NFL Network will release America's Game featuring the Eagles' Super Bowl ride to Super Bowl 59. During the documentary, you will see Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, Zach Bond, and Nick Sirianni speak about the 2024 NFL season. I'm Austin Jones, and you're home with the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons
was thinking of Billy there when I asked him about Sirianni. I kind of figured that was going to be.
Well, Bill's going to want to use that.
Yeah. So alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, taking you through middays. I was thinking about Bill as I asked Torrey Smith there. We just had in the last segment. Again, thanks to Torrey taking the time to join us. Always enjoy catching up with him. That he was going to be effusive in his praise because it seemed like he was really impressed just talking with him about going down to camp and what it looked like. He kept saying that it didn't seem like they were a Super Bowl winning team. And not that they're not one that could win the Super Bowl, but not one that had won the Super Bowl. That they just had a mentality not of one, which lends me to believe a little bit that, he's seen a team that's won a Super Bowl coming to camp in the way that, obviously he was part of that Ravens team. And he mentioned them missing the postseason by a game, that maybe he sees that Eagles team is just have a little bit more of the drive. And
They lost a lot. We look at the Ravens from 2012 to 2013.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
But the way he said it,
But I like that.
I'm always curious his frame of reference when he's saying you're not a Super Bowl winning team. Like you don't look like one that won the Super Bowl before means that he probably thinks they came in there with maybe a notch higher of energy
they
than
came
what
in
he was
looking
before. That's the way I read that one, at least. Listen to him talk about it. I know he's been pretty staunch in his defensive hurts through it. Basically, he's reacted to the list that we have. He's a very active social media guy.
That he is.
I saw him ripping the Cowboys for the Michael Parsons deal, which I appreciated. And the way he's adopted Philadelphia, I know, obviously, his wife
family
being
ties,
from here, that makes that pretty easy for him, but I've loved it. And obviously winning a Super Bowl here makes it easy for him, but I love the adoption there of Philadelphia for him, for a guy that was here one season, one magical year.
A magical season is what he said.
Yes.
Rightfully so.
But what he had to say there, really loved you asking about Patullo in specific. And he kind of echoed what I said earlier in the show of like there's so much here for him. Like I worry about it, but also not yet to the extent maybe that I should be. I think maybe I've filed that one back, and I've been more concerned about the back end of the defense than anything else. Maybe I should be more concerned. We got the callers earlier talking about Patullo that were worried about it. I just haven't yet gotten to that point where I'm back to like, maybe Thursday things don't look good tomorrow night. Operationally, I'll be worried, but I just think it's more about them evolving as an offense, and that was going to be regardless of who the coordinator was.
And I think that the outset of there's a new coordinator, there's always going to be given pause. But there is something to be said, the fact that not only is Patullo a carryover, but he's a carryover from even before with Nick Sirianni. Like he has been in the system. And I think it actually was beneficial to be here last year in the offensive meetings to see how they adjusted, right? So they saw how they needed to adjust, not just with wanting Jalen to do different things, but also with the way that they were utilizing Saquon Barkley and how that was a living, breathing thing and how successful it was. So I think that's another thing. He saw how they were able to navigate that. And I think when I know we've had two callers, I think it was two callers or a caller and a text, I can't remember which, gave a little bit of pause, like, you would have to acknowledge the fact there's a brand new offensive coordinator. Yes. And I always contend that it would be weird for Jalen Hurts to have the same offensive coordinator. I think that would be confused.
Yeah, I think at this point he just
it doesn't even matter
change.
to him. Exactly. There's always going to be someone new. But I think because of that, because they were all in those rooms together, even though the head of it, being Kellen Moore in this case, is no longer here, the fact that Patullo was there, saw the way that they navigated some of the issues they had on offense and how successful they were able to be with both the different game planning, changing the playbook up, and then obviously the way they utilize Saquon, I think is going to be so much more beneficial than people might think from the outset.
And is it wrong of me to say that, as a group playing up to their potential a year ago, not that I didn't come across impressed, but they left more out there for you. I think you saw it in the last two games of the season. Maybe I just see so much more room for growth that I'm just sitting here I'm not really at all bothered by anything that you're putting out there as what could potentially be pitfall for this team, because I'm waiting kind of for that next evolution of this offense. And I think it has to come this year. And if it doesn't come this year, is it the offensive coordinator? Or we're going to be just talking about a lot of different factors that didn't lead into that. That might be why I'm not necessarily as concerned about it. But all right, coming up, we got A1 for you. We're going to catch up on some of the text. We'll get back to the text line 610-632-0975 in the 1 o'clock hour. We mentioned speed earlier today, and I have more of an issue with something that happened on that live stream that really bothered me. I also yesterday put a poll out on the old Bird app about Eagles travel. We're going to get to that because the tailgating tomorrow, we're we're just talking off air about you planning to get down there for your Phillies pregame.
Yes.
But the plan for people getting down there, the response I got, both in the poll and sent to me, overwhelmingly confirmed my suspicions. And, of course, we still got a big Phillies game and a big Phillies series. So we got a lot still coming in the 1 o'clock hour. Starts with A1 coming up next. She's Amy Fidul. I'm Ray Dunn here at Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. We're just one day away from the Eagles opening up against the Dallas Cowboys down at the Link. Yesterday, there was some good news coming out of practice as Landon Dickerson was a full participant. The only player that did not partake in practice was Tanner McKee. With Dickerson battling some preseason injuries, we received some great insight from Jeff McClain, who's with the Philadelphia Inquirer, as he joined Kincade and Salciunas early this morning in regards to Dickerson potentially playing.
I would say so, barring some sort of setback with the back. They can be tricky, big guys, but everything I'm hearing is that he's probably going to be a go to start.
The Eagles kick off at 8:20 tomorrow night. You can tune into the Fanatic for your pregame coverage. The Phillies are back in action tonight as Aaron Nola takes the mound against the Brewers. First pitch is set for 7:40, and the Phillies still hold a lead on the Mets, 5.5 games for the NL East. This update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Austin Jones, your home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hour here. You're tuned in to WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. A lot of ways to say 97.5 The Fanatic, your midday show here alongside A.B. Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. We got A1 coming up in a second, but I have to say, 2 o'clock, I hate to take a shot at Colarulo because that's not something I enjoy doing. And I was told actually by management that I've used up my entire quota for the year at this point in terms of shots taken at him. That apparently I've already exceeded.
Was it 3?
It was 3 because I don't like taking shots at him.
There you go.
I've only took 3 shots at him all year. I'm gonna say you have potentially one of the softest takes of all time coming up at 2 o'clock. I'm just gonna say that a lot of muscles. No real strength in what he's about to do to you at 2 o'clock today. I was just talking to him back there about prep for whatever. Good luck. That's your promo, Unfiltered. That's your promo for Unfiltered coming up.
Soft take.
Yeah, in an hour from now. Someone that, made his presence known today for sure on this program is the one and only Austin Jones. We got A1 coming up. What's up, Austin?
Now, A1 at 1.
Alrighty, so I have about scrubbed this audio about 20 times.
All right, as long as it's clean.
Oh.
All right.
Number 1.
Yeah. But we're going to start with...
That's the A1 focus.
Yes. Clean audio. We're going to start with the NBA because it's slowly creeping up, and I wanted to bring this story because it's a former Sixer talking about how he had to adjust his, quote, way of life being traded from the Dallas Mavericks to this Philadelphia 76ers. That's Justin Anderson, who was on the Jeff Island podcast. And again, he spoke about the difference between a veteran team compared to a younger team.
I went from the Mavs to the Sixers. When I first got to the Sixers, I remember TJ McConnell was like, "Welcome to the World Tour." I was like, whatever this means. And a couple of years back, they only won 10 games. And I get there halfway through the season, like the World Tour. What does that mean? He was like, "Dude, we suck." He was like, "In every city, all we do is play and we go out. We have a good time. And, you're going to love it." I was like, all right, cool. I'm not even one to go out like that. But from a camaraderie standpoint, that was the first time that I was on a younger team. In Dallas, it was a bunch of veterans: Chandler Parsons, Dirk Nowitzki, Charlie Villanueva, Raymond Felton, Aaron Williams, J.J. Barea. Only people on that team that were young were Dwight Powell and I. It was very structured. Everybody had families and kids. So when I get to Philly, I was able to almost be a rookie, even though I wasn't a rookie. It's because a lot of guys were my age. They were kind of doing the young, dumb, stupid stuff that young NBA players do. I mean, you can get away with it at times. So it was fun to be able to do that with those guys.
Yeah.
Worked out just fine for TJ McConnell, by the way.
Yeah, it did. TJ worked out for better than anyone.
Certainly from some of those teams, yes.
I guess financially probably worked out best for Jeremy Grant of all of them.
I mean, honestly, if you think about it, Andrew Bynum the most because he played nothing and he got paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, I always equate him as he's like the prologue to the process. Like, he's not necessarily a part. Like, his story is a part of why we got there, but of as
far as the actual process
from
era.
Drew Holiday trade on, who did it work out the best for?
Yeah, I mean,
probably Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, but TJ McConnell's got to be in there.
Financially. TJ McConnell probably career-wise it works out best for.
And longevity, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Embiid, MVP financially, yeah. So I guess of the non-Embiid process era Sixers,
the non-current Sixers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. Really, I mean, Rocco had a nice run there. He got paid.
Ish Smith, obviously.
Ish played for 15 of the 30.
Great immaculate grid cranes.
Also a champion.
Yes,
Nuggets.
That's right, with the Nuggets.
So, yeah, it worked out decent for him, too.
It's great advice he gave.
Just have fun. Yeah, just party with us. Yeah.
That's good for team camaraderie. Okay?
That's actually what I say to the new hires here. I'm like, get ready for the World Tour, man. We're going to go out and party. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah, we actually haven't had company. I don't know. I haven't gone out with anyone. I mean, I see Connor out, but over that, I was going to say there was a run here where I was being made fun of for the amount of time I was spending with my coworkers, and I don't think I've spent nearly enough time with my coworkers recently. So that's on me.
Hit my line, right?
Yeah.
We're neighbors.
Yeah, we're not too far from each other. All right, what else you got here?
Just one reminder on Justin Anderson. Remember, he was part of Andrew Bogut. And Anderson went to the Sixers for a protected first-round pick and Nerlens Noel. So just a little background on that. And
about that.
Yeah, and he's now in the Dubai Basketball League.
Hey, still playing.
Yep. Still
Well,
playing.
Anderson was the Embiid best friend.
Yes, that's right. I forgot that.
Everyone was like, I actually ran into. Speaking of going out, when I was a freshman in college, I went to this old festival they used to have called Made in America. I don't know if you,
I remember that. Show.
Yeah. I'm just saying that because it's been 3 years now that they keep telling me it's come back and it's not come back. I'm not going to go at this point. I don't think. But I ran to Justin Anderson and Joel Embiid at Made in America, which was for 18-year-old Ray was a
highlight.
Yeah, massive experience right there.
Alrighty, moving on to somebody that likes to use colorful language. That's why I had to scan it multiple times. Jason Kelce, next 2 stories coming up. He was on the podcast, Busting with the Boys, with former NFL football players Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. And this first story is about Jason Kelce being starstruck with his quarterbacks his rookie year.
What was it like playing with Michael Vick?
I had never been starstruck up until that moment. It was like the walkthrough. I don't even know why I was still in there because I was still with the 2s and 3s at that point. And it wasn't even just Mike, it was also Vince Young. So my first quarterback room was Michael Vick and Vince Young. And I'm snapping to both of them in a walkthrough. And I'm like, what's going on right now? I've never been happier to have a man's hands under my butt. Right? It was pretty awesome. He's just such a dude too. You meet guys and you always wonder what they're like. And Mike was nothing but incredible as a teammate. He would throw the ball. I'm blocking and you could hear the spin that he would put on the ball. It would sizzle past. It was crazy. His talent was remarkable. Even at that age, coming out of the penitentiary, all of it, it was impressive still.
His way of describing things is always just
unique.
Yes.
Well, it gives you a good visual.
Yeah, he wants to make sure you can see, we understand what happens when you snap the football, Jason. I appreciate you for adding a little twist of humor in there. That had to have been intimidating, though. You show up and your first quarterback room is Mike Vick and Vince Young, as a 6th-round rookie, just don't screw up.
Especially growing up in a certain era, you saw those guys, in their college heyday, and obviously in Vick's heyday of the Atlanta Falcons and everything that one of the more entertaining quarterbacks I've certainly ever watched in my life.
Yeah, 2 guys that were, just at the top of the world when it came to their careers, and you are a guy that the Eagles didn't even spell your name right when they tweet out the draft pick. That has to just
and
be
you're
an
working your way up.
place.
Maybe I'll try a little second string situation.
And maybe I'll make it. Maybe I'll stick around here for a little while. Yeah, I can only imagine that was a little rough for him.
And continuing with Jason Kelce, this Kelce story happened this past week as he was at the Cincinnati and Nebraska game at Arrowhead Stadium, where Jason was having some cold ones, but something was a little bit off in regards to the beer he was drinking.
I got a very embarrassing story from last night about beer. Okay. So I'm drinking beer. I'm not really hammering them. I'm just kind of putting one back every 30 minutes or something. Just kind of enjoying beers last night. I think it was 3rd quarter. I find out that I've been drinking non-alcoholic beer the entire game. This is the most amount of shame I've ever felt in myself.
Who was the person that tapped you in the shoulders and just so you know?
Taylor. Because she said Travis had just been doing the same thing, and he's ashamed. I'm like, time out, Travis, there's non-alcoholic beer here? We had both been drinking these, thinking they were just some 0 calorie, not thinking it was zero.
The right choice.
Yeah. I'm just I just wasted 3/4 of my life. I just say it was as it would happen.
So funny.
I was so ashamed. Anyways, so what was the question again?
No shame in the non-alcoholic game on that one.
I just how at first you thought there was 0 calorie. Well, no.
No.
There is an athletic beer. It's lower.
There is something I don't know, almost down to earth, normal person thing about Taylor Swift being the one that reveals that to them.
Hey, just so you know, there's no alcohol in there. I don't know why you, of all people. And also, good recognition for her.
Right.
To look maybe she thought Travis was trying to, drink it because he was getting ready for the season.
Well, that's the other thing. That's why I was doing the timeout. I was like, that's actually good for Travis.
Yeah. that makes sense. But she probably looked over at her future brother-in-law and went, well, this guy doesn't strike me as a non-alcoholic type of guy.
Yeah. He's I'm going to have a few type of guy at that Cincinnati game, too. They're on the
Bearcats.
Yeah. I don't know. How do you not tell is kind of my thing here. You can tell me that story, but through 3 quarters, I get it. You're a big dude. It doesn't impact you a ton.
A beer that he probably didn't know the flavor for, and maybe he just thought.
I guess.
Because some of them look like you really have to look. It doesn't say there are some that the label are very clearly, and there's other ones that you just hand it to you and all right.
All right, maybe not. All right, coming up. Good stuff on the on A1 here. We'll go back to where we were at the beginning of the show with the Birds and something from the Speed live stream that drove me nuts. I was not happy about this, Amy. I'm still upset about it. We'll get to it. She's Amy Fidul. I'm Ray Dunn. Taking through middays here on 97.5 The Fanatic. One o'clock hour here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Alongside Amy Fidul, I'm Ray Dunn, taking you through the midday show. Coming up at 2 o'clock is Unfiltered, and tomorrow, big day for the Unfiltered folks.
They're going to be live.
South Philly, Chickies and Pete's.
Yep,
Looking
live
forward
on
to that
location.
one. 2 to 6 I can't wait to make my way on.
You're going to be there.
I'm going to go say hi.
You'll obviously be watching also the Phillies.
Yeah, well, that's why I told him it's going to be a pretty quick turnaround for me because I also got to get back here and do pregame.
Oh, that's right.
Connor Thomas and I got to do pregame. So there's plenty going on here tomorrow. But yeah, 2 to 6 tomorrow down at Chicks and Pete's in South Philly. I'm going to go stop by around the 3 o'clock hour. Okay, so that's around where I'm looking at getting down there to join the Unfiltered folks. So looking forward to that. Now, we opened the show today. I want people to get on the record. Give me their record. We both got 12-5. I think they're going to break this whole, it's been 20 years since someone's repeated as NFC East champions. I think ultimately, though, I will say we got the call earlier from BT Ron saying it's hard to see more than 5 losses on this schedule. He would be more inclined to lean towards the 14 wins than the 10. To me, I have them starting 2-2. It's hard for me to imagine them being near perfect. 1 loss in the last 13 games of the season. That's just tough for me to stomach and to think of. So I would have them closer to 10 than I would to 14, though I have them at 12. And I think a lot of people are in that 11 to 12 range.
I feel like that's a good spot.
I feel like that's where people are right now. I know Raging Truth on our YouTube put that up 11 to 12. For you, Austin Jones, where do you have this group right now?
Make room because I'm right there with you with 12-5. Potentially 13-4 if they can get on another hot streak like they did last year. But you alluded to it. I honestly could see them going like 3-1 in their first 4 weeks. Of course, I have to probably put that L as the Tampa Bay game because they never, ever play well in Tampa Bay, especially at 1 o'clock. So, yeah, I mean, I'm very confident in his team. October looks rather light besides the Broncos game. And then, the back half of the schedule, depending on who's going to be in and out the lineup, I still think this team has a good chance at being 12-5 or 13-4.
That 13-4 again. So you have a 3-1, which makes that much more attainable. The 2-2 for me just makes it tough the rest of the way, given how difficult this schedule is. But I understand where you're going with that. And tomorrow we're going to break down. We'll have you get ready for Eagles Cowboys. We're going to sprinkle in the Phils as tonight dictates, but it'll be Eagles Cowboys getting you ready for that coming tomorrow. And I did just get the giveaway. We got the giveaway for tomorrow. Yeah, look, that email coming. Yeah, I think your people are going to want this one tomorrow. So it's making me hungry. I'll just say that. Our giveaway for tomorrow. I just saw that email come across. So we also asked the why or the why not. Like, if you think this team's going to repeat, I'd love to hear the why. And if you, honestly, if you don't think it, the why not, but also why you could see it happening. And we went off Diana Rossini, said the Hurts conviction and confidence following the Super Bowl would have her thinking that.
I like it.
But I want to quickly just play something for you that bothered me. So Speed, the influencer, had 40 million people. I Show Speed had 40 million people watching live as he was walking, going around Philadelphia. And so those 40 million, hey, good for you. Shout out to you for whatever you got going. This is your guy. You ride with him. People will hear me say this, well, Ray's just jealous. He wishes 40 million people watched him. I don't know if, I don't know.
So it seems
it's a lot to be just watching me go around Philadelphia. Sometimes 2 people see me in Philadelphia. Whoa, not a good time.
Yeah, you recognized up at Citi Field, so.
Yeah, that was still insane. Paul George was in the car waiting for I Show Speed, I guess, when he got in his car after he went and got, I think it was Pat's, because then he was going to Jim's, which a small storyline in all this, I nearly ended up right there, I think, by timing-wise, because I was going to go to Jim's yesterday afternoon. I don't know what time they got there. You could have also been
on the stream.
I could, Speed was obviously looking for the big stars, so I think he might have passed on me, but I could have ended up as someone in the background here. But he has Paul George with him. Listen to the back and forth here between Speed and Paul George.
Paul George, what's good?
Man, you got motion, boy.
It's crazy.
You the president, dog.
A president? Let's take a selfie.
Location free, please, driver.
So you from Philly?
Hell no.
What?
All right, stop it there. I don't need any more of this clip. The hell no.
The absolute so quick and vehement denial of why in the world would you ever think I'm from this fine city?
That bothered me a lot. You have not done enough in this city to be hitting us with the hell no, I'm not from here.
You wish.
Also, he had to ask you why you were in Philly, which is a bigger question.
And it's odd that it's not like Paul George isn't. I get that he didn't play. He played 47 games last year, but
41. Don't give more credit than he has to.
41 games. He is a known commodity. If you paid attention at any point, in the last 2 years, you would know where he is at this point. How do you not know? And then, of course, you're just like, oh, I'm here because I play here. He probably was like, play what?
Yeah, I am like, I saw that
and
yesterday.
He lets him in his car, by the way.
Right.
Like, he gets in the car.
I was mad for a solid hour about that.
And then they have like the bro
how
hug.
much here?
They do the bro hug. I'm like, I wouldn't bro hug. I'm not bro hugging a guy that didn't know what is happening right now. But whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
The absolute of like, no, why would you ever? People want to be from here, by the way.
Yeah.
So much so that there's people that they're from like Lancaster, and they'll get outside of Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, and they'll be like, where are you from? Like Philly. Like what part? And they'll be like, York.
Yeah. People want to be here.
Yes.
We want people who want to be here.
I'm from Bensalem. Okay, close enough. We don't care. Come on through.
I'm sorry. I listened to that yesterday. It bothered me. I want to bother everyone else with it. If I'm going to be miserable about that, I want everyone to join me in that. Coming up, something yesterday as well that we saw was the travel advisory. And I'm curious for tomorrow, the tailgate scene. What does it look like? And my early returns on the way people have reacted to that. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. We're just one day away from the Eagles opening their season against the Dallas Cowboys. Yesterday was a good day in practice as guard Landon Dickerson was a full participant in practice. The only player that did not participate was Tanner McKee. And with Dickerson battling some preseason injuries, we received some great insight from Jeff McClain, who's with the Philadelphia Inquirer, as he joined Kincade and Salciunas earlier this morning. And he has a feeling that Dickerson's probably going to give it a go.
I would say so, barring some sort of step back with the back. They can be tricky, big guys, but everything I'm hearing is that he's probably going to be a go to start.
Kickoff is for 8:20, and you can tune into the Fanatic for your pregame coverage. The Phillies are back in action tonight as Aaron Nola takes the mound against the Brewers. First pitch is for 7:40, and the Phillies currently hold a 5.5 game lead over the New York Mets for the NL East lead. This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Austin Jones, your home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
at the sports complex on the travel advisory that was issued yesterday by the Eagles. But I've waited 3.5 hours to ask this question. What in the world is going on with Kawhi Leonard?
Oh, my goodness. This is crazy. This is a crazy story. This is a story that you hear about in like college athletics. Not to the tune of this, $50 million or whatever it was. But
I don't know. Alabama's no longer good and everyone can get paid. I don't know about that. What? Oh, what? No, I didn't say anything about it. Sorry.
It's a crazy story. A no-show job to hide money from the cap.
$28 million is what reportedly Kawhi Leonard has been given for a no-show job by Steve Ballmer to circumvent the cap.
And the irony is, if he doesn't show up for his current job, a.k.a. if he's with another team, he doesn't get money from the no-show job either. They're tied together. The no-show and the actual job.
Yeah. Which, by the way, this is Pablo Torrey doing this again. So Pablo Torrey right now is on a generational run.
Yeah.
This guy, we have not seen reporting like this. I don't know. I don't even know who to compare it to. Like,
Watergate?
I was going to go Watergate. That was actually where I was going with this, and I was like, I guess I probably shouldn't make that big of a comparison. But he is on a run here. He is just uncovering things left and right. Like, at this point...
How do you find this out? Like, do you get, like, an audit?
I guess.
And there's just like $28 million missing from the books?
Right. I don't know where exactly he's getting all this information, but he is on fire with this. Like, Pablo Torrey is just like, honestly, Pablo Torrey is probably our greatest example of the best of sports obsession.
Yeah.
Because we all have these things that, like, we fixate on as sports fans, as people who are around sports, in sports, that if we were given money to just go deep dive into it, we could probably find answers. Pablo Torrey built enough of a name, and this is like kind of like industry like dream for a lot of people, where like you build enough of a name in the industry, and then some companies just like, here's a ton of money, go do what you want.
Yeah.
And like Pablo Torrey has basically been like, yeah, I'm just gonna find out the most insane stories around sports.
And what's my podcast? Pablo Torrey finds out.
It's a beautiful thing. Like, some guys, like Bill Simmons, get handed, like they build enough of a name. I don't want to say handed, but then a company's like, here, go do your thing. Or he starts his own company. He gets the sponsorship to be like, go do your thing. And he's just going to redraft NBA drafts forever. Like, he gets to just do that. Or, like, react to be like, I don't know about that. This is how I feel. Pablo Torrey gets to do it this way. It's great.
So, as any respected journalist would do, Pablo Torrey did reach out to Steve Ballmer and the Clippers, and I think that their quote was something like, I should look it up. It said something like, I think the Clippers' response was like, well, that's probably not true. To which Torrey is like, I think he has like thousands of pages of documents documenting the fact that this company, it's like a lawn care company or something that doesn't exist anymore, that was funded by $50 million from Steve Ballmer, but because it's still functioning somewhat as like a shadow corporation, that's how there's just the one employee, I think, and it's just Kawhi. It's just Kawhi on their books.
And this is also Sixers specific because they have future Clippers picks. Ooh. Because there is, of course, precedent in the league for teams being docked draft picks, fined, suspensions being levied for teams that circumvent the cap. Because apparently this happened in 2000. I'm going through, funny enough,
because it's an endorsement deal.
Right.
Tree planting company. There you go. Plant some trees out there in California.
Which, by the way, this still happened in the NBA. I would love Pablo Torrey to go see what the Patriots are doing during the TB12 era next. Just saying. Took a lot less money being the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
As if there wasn't some kind of shell corporation that he was the endorsement.
Why is everyone signed up for TB12 all of a sudden? I'm just saying. Also, and this is roommate checking in right now. The Pablo Torrey, I guess, during the podcast also said he's looking into the Jalen Brunson. Remember when he accepted less money? When they gave him less money recently?
I think that Jalen Brunson, though exceptionally talented, is a little different stratosphere than the TB12 Kawhi.
No. That Torrey's looking into that as a part of his Kawhi Leonard investigation into the NBA contracts. So I think
there's a lot of people that are like, whoa. The fact that it's $28 million to me is there's probably people that have hidden less
Yeah.
Couple million here, couple million there.
Well, that was the whole, people made jokes around here about when Michael Rubin stepped aside with the Sixers. They're like, hey, with Fanatics, make sure you get those endorsement deals lined up for the guys with the Sixers and be our help to,
Yep.
But this is this isn't even like, this is real shady, like we're putting together a fake tree company for you. Fanatics, it's like, all right, everybody wants to be a part of it, I guess. But man,
is there also a certain irony, the fact that Kawhi Leonard barely has worked for the Clippers? Period.
Yeah, the no-show job is very funny.
He has got 2 no-show jobs.
The jokes write themselves with that one. I want to go quickly to this travel advisory because obviously with SEPTA and everything going on with the Eagles right now, the game tomorrow night. The Eagles yesterday, we reacted when the travel advisory went out, telling people who do not have game tickets not to go down to the game. And I quickly was like, all right, let me see. I put out the old Bird app poll, and it's not like I had hundreds of votes on this one, but 80% of people there said that they were not going to abide by it, that it's tailgate time. I put up my Instagram. A similar percentage of people saying they're not going to abide by it because it's tailgate time. It's just built into the fabric of this fan base.
You show up. How many people do you see walking the lots?
That's what I mean. I am one that has been a lot walker for a number of years. Like before I got into this, like going to Temple, that's like kind of baked into the whole thing. You take SEPTA down, like if you want to get back for the game, a half hour before, 45 minutes before the game, you get back on SEPTA, you go back up, or you end up in Xfinity. Like it's not going to stop. Sorry, Stateside Live. It's Xfinity is now the mobile arena.
Correct, Xfinity Mobile Arena parking lot.
Which I got to see the unveiling. It was it looked very nice.
Well, I can't decide what we're going to call that place.
We'll get to it. We might just repurpose Xfinity.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. But this is not going to change for people.
And so when we've had big events down there before, and I realized, I think it was 2 years ago or maybe 3 years ago now, there was like a NLCS game. There was
Game 2
a friendly,
of the NLCS, the friendly
and the home
at the
opener
lane.
you had to show something to get inside those lots.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you just had to show something. I could show a screenshot all I wanted.
Right.
So that's what I was. So I think that the enforcement, my thing is how are you enforcing this? I understand why you don't want an extra influx of people because of the way they can get kind of crazy down there. But at the same time, this is what people do. They've been tailgating for decades.
Also, is it empty Stateside Live then?
Yeah,
because people go down to watch the game there. Like that's a.
Yeah, I don't understand how that's.
I don't know how you enforce all this. Or live casino. People watch the game there.
Absolutely.
The Eagles-Browns last year I watched from live casino.
Literally inherent with the sports bar, such as Stateside Live, you show the sports.
Yeah,
so
people go to watch the sports there. So that's the one thing for me that with this whole thing, like
I get it, but
there is not a single. Well, there are people. I shouldn't say there's not a single people, but there are the people, because you can see on Instagram who votes on the poll, like what they voted, and the people that voted yes, they were concerned about the traffic on the poll I put up on my Instagram, were the exact people I would expect to be worried about the traffic, and also people that I don't see tailgating a lot. The people that I know that
they're
tailgate a ton,
go to the game and leave.
were voting that they're going to go down there and tailgate.
Yeah.
It's going to be chaos.
I mean, it's always chaos.
Yes, but it is especially chaos. Like this also has been for me.
It's also Thursday. Yeah, the fact that it's a Thursday night game.
For you, getting home is going to be, I think, an interesting. At least you're close to game time, and getting there might be a little.
Yeah. So I'll be leaving here. I will leave a smidge early. I'll give myself an hour tomorrow just to make sure I'm down there before our pregame show. Game's at 4, pregame show at 3:30. Hoping that we can get out of there somewhat quickly because we would like to also be in the comfy confines as we take in the birds and the boys. But yeah, I mean, you're hoping. It's a weird way. We are the people that work down there, and there's a lot of us, obviously, not just NBC Sports Philadelphia, but other people that work in the South Philadelphia area. You have a lot of different ways to get in and around that you know about. You can take the back entrance. You can go down by the Wawa, the Platte Bridge. There's ways you can try to navigate it, but I'll do my best.
I also got someone tweeting me right now. Well, why haven't you started talking about the weather? Was I missing some weather for tomorrow? Oh yeah, at night. How about that? Partly to mostly cloudy skies with scattered thunderstorms before midnight in Philadelphia.
Don't think I realized that.
I did not realize that either. So shout out whoever just tweeted me. Hey man, forget the travel advisory. game could be delayed. So shout out Darian for that tweet. Saw that tweet immediately. It was like, oh, I didn't realize there was supposed to be weather tomorrow. But for me, this also changes the way because I'm doing pregame, so I can go watch the game somewhere.
Right, exactly.
But I'm not going to try and move about too far in the city if SEPTA's going to be what it's going to be postgame, because then, yeah, it's chaos. But that's like downstream effects,
That's
economics
exactly
wise, for
the
everyone
trickle.
else here. Like,
yeah, I don't understand how they're gonna have Stateside Live. I'm gonna keep on calling it Xfinity Live. Stateside Live operate as a giant sports bar, and people obviously go there before the game, and that'll be all well and good. But we've all been there, and there is a good crush of people that do leave once 7:30, 8 o'clock hits to walk over earlier than that. But there's still a healthy amount of people.
I was there last year for Eagles Rams. I've been there a number of times for games.
Healthy
throughout. There's a crowd. Concerns me. All right, from the Eagles, the Phillies. There's a game tonight. We'll talk about it coming up. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic. talk a little bit about the baseball game tonight. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, and I'm not talking about my managerial debut in softball. Big night for me for a number of reasons.
And why
Obviously,
not?
The America's Game documentary for the 2024 Eagles comes out. The Phillies have the best team in baseball, and I'm expected to manage a softball team to success in the interim, which is very difficult. I did not realize how difficult this would be. So the co-ed softball team, we are down numbers. Yeah. Tremendous. Like, everyone's on vacation. Everyone took Labor Day weekend and just extended it. I got people I know in Milwaukee. I got people, I don't even know where they are. To be honest with you, some of this team, I have no idea where they went. They just went on vacation. They're not around. I don't know what to do.
Left?
They're just gone. I don't know what happened. So our usual manager's like, all right, Ray, you're in charge.
Like, okay.
So, one, I have to go recruit new people because we don't have enough for tonight, which is brutal. And the co-ed portion, struggling to find.
How many do you have to fill?
We ended up figuring it out. We ended
Okay.
up finding enough, but it was a long, arduous search, and I can't really describe my 20s more than trying to fill a heyday softball league and debating whether or not it's okay to go back to someone that you haven't spoken to in a while from Hinge to fill your heyday softball team. I don't think I can describe my 20s better than that. Because you're sitting there.
How do you start that? Hey.
Exactly.
But you have to get into it right away because you need to know why that you're texting out of the blue.
Exactly.
Not
Yes.
the revisit from before. The revisit. Any chance that you're still interested in softball?
Yes, there is no greater
Not in
way
me.
to describe your 20s than when you get into your contact list. You're like, do I just type in Hinge? Because I don't put last name. You know, when you meet someone, that's their contact name. And I was like, all right, we definitely need to find someone because we're in dire straits for this roster.
That is a dire straits moment.
Yes.
Holy smokes.
But I don't think I can better describe my 20s than going back to old Hinge matches to see if I could fill my co-ed heyday softball team. Which we were able to fill without having to dip into that
And the
pool
game will be done.
of
Your game
resources.
will be done before the more important game tonight. Not that yours isn't
Yes.
as important, but it's slightly more important in Milwaukee.
Yes. Managerial debut. Looking forward to.
Question for you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when you look to use a defensive replacement for your right fielder and they decide to blow up on you?
So that is a big, actually, thing for this game. I have benched myself. I've dropped myself in the order and benched myself because I want to make it
Very
worth the while
self-aware.
of the people that show up. I will be the one sitting on the bench to start. I also usually hit leadoff for this team. I have dropped myself in the order considerably. So right now, the actual back and forth between the manager and the outfield is just my own two sides of the brain going
Right.
after one another. I'm probably better than this, but also
not.
I'm not. I misread a ball pretty badly last week that I feel like I deserve to sit on the bench for the inning, for the first inning of this game.
Wow.
Yeah, it was ugly. I don't want to talk anymore about it. Actually, I'm very upset about it. We won the game, but it was nearly costly. So let's get to the game tonight and this Phillies team. You want to start there since we're talking about the outfield with who we think we're seeing tonight in the outfield? Lefty on the mound, Jose Quintana making his 27th start in the last 3 weeks against the Phillies. It just feels like we see the guy a ton. I know
I feel like we just saw it.
Yeah. Quintana going to go against the Phillies in this one. So lefty on the mound. We thinking Bader, Castellanos, and then Wilson in left. Wilson got
That's
the
what
home
it
run
was.
off of Chris Sale.
That's
so.
what it was the other day when I was on this very show, and I said, no, I didn't like it, but Bader's
right.
been obviously hitting.
So Dub, Bader, and you guys still got to relax on the whole Bader thing. All right, you have to admit.
It's the first thing when I saw the game on Monday, I was like, oh, no. It's going to be bad for me on Wednesday.
Well, listen, I gave you 3 hours and 45 minutes
did.
before I got to it. He should be the everyday center fielder, Amy.
Yeah.
I don't care that he looks like he's a member of the cast of Incredibles. All right? Come on.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll give it to you.
Everyday center fielder.
I'll give it to you.
There's one outfielder in that outfield that deserves to play every day. It's that man.
No, that's true.
So
So they rocked. It went against Sale, Turner, Schwarber, Harper, Real Muto, Bohm, Castellanos, Bader, Sosa, Wilson.
So that
Right?
yeah.
That's the.
This probably isn't the time they give Marsh to try and hit a lefty. I think the
Little
Wilson,
too.
Bader,
Yeah.
Castellanos outfield is the one that works. The one against the righty is really the interesting one. It's how they end up doing that. This lineup feels like it's pretty set against the lefty. They like this lineup against the lefty. It is funny though the headline, because they have the AI generated headlines on ESPN. Phillies take on the Brewers after Marsh's 4-hit game. It's like,
He's not going to play. He did have 4 hits. We appreciate you acknowledging he had a very good Monday. He will not be starting in this one tonight.
the bigger story here, of course, is Aaron Nola going tonight against this good of a team.
Yeah.
And what you need from Aaron Nola in terms of a potential, am I talking about not necessarily bounce back, but like almost... He struggled in that first inning. I was there for that Braves game. That was a grind. Before we got to the fun of that game, you thought that game was going to be a disaster. I was literally sitting there like I might not be able to go to a Phillies game again. If they lose 6-0 in New York, the next night I come back and Nola gives up 3 in the first inning. I was like, I don't know if I could do this. So it's kind of a bounce back spot for him, even though they got the win in that game. And every game right now for him is kind of a prove it point.
Absolutely. Well, because you're already down your Zach Wheeler, so it's a prove it game in the fact that you need to prove that you can be reliable, that you can get through those innings, and that you're not going to have. Listen, he's always going to give up a solo shot. I feel like we've known that about Aaron Nola for a while, but I feel like it's prove it to the point where we need you for the postseason. You need to show us that you can be that guy again.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think that maybe I'm just in fantasy land for thinking that he's going to get back
I think he's going
anywhere.
to get there.
I hope. The
He's
velocity's back.
Yeah,
That's been nice.
It's hard to say because he's never really had an injury like this. He's never missed this substantial amount of time. He's been your most reliable starter since he became one. He's a guy that was 30-plus starts every single season. So it's hard to tell how he's going to bounce back when you've never needed to see it.
No, you never need to see it, but his velocity being back is good. He doesn't seem to have the command that, or at least the control of what he's doing out there. That he's had in previous years. Hopefully, what I would like to see is like not a repeat of Monday where they get down early. The way it would be a repeat of Thursday for him. Like that innings 2 through 5. I made the joke in a group chat, man, like, oh, he's going to need an opener in the postseason. But like, let's not have the first inning drama that Taiwan put you through and that he put you through the last time that he pitched.
Listen, I liked the fight on Monday. I know you guys already talked about it, obviously, on Tuesday, but that showed you something. It's just you don't need to do it every single time.
No.
You don't need to be coming back from 0-4, 3-1, 2-0. You're not. Just get out and head.
Yeah.
This is a good bullpen in the Brewers.
And with rapid fire with Fadul earlier, you said that they were going to take one more in this series. Suarez gets to start tomorrow.
That's the one I got.
All right, so tonight's a loss.
I mean, I wanted to say 2 more, but I don't know. If I had to pick one of the 2,
Right,
it would
you
be
feel
tonight.
better with Suarez on the mound.
Yeah, I do.
I think this is an interesting case study for 2 things. One, how the lineup plays against the lefty. And that'll be something in the postseason I think we're all going to be watching because the right-handed lineup right now, you have Marsh in that platoon that'll be playing. Bader's shown you that he can hit righties. So like your outfield production, I feel very, very solid with against right-handed pitching right now, whatever you do in right field, whether it's Kepler or Castellanos. Kepler's going better. No, right field.
Oh, sorry.
Marsh is in that lineup for me.
Sorry, yes. You said Marsh. Got
Yes.
it. Sorry. I thought
Marsh,
you were platooning
Bader, and then what it is for the right field.
Kepler or Castellanos.
Yeah, I feel better about your outfield production there. Against the lefty, with Wilson in there, hopefully he keeps it up. With Castellanos, I'm hoping that there's something to be found there. It's a little bit more. And then, I mean, not that I worry about Harper and Schwarber. I just think that we've seen kind of funky lefties get this lineup before. So I'd like them to be able to take care of Katana today. And then Nola.
Who was the guy that copied Sales?
Manai.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Manai, because we talked about that last week.
Yeah, that's
and that broke me in my core.
Yeah, sorry. We've bounced back nicely, though.
Yeah, we have.
Here on this show.
It was
You have as
encouraging
well.
Monday. I would like to see one more in this Milwaukee series. I did ask for 6 wins in this 10-game stretch between Mets series, and I've already been handed 4 with 5 to go in this series.
Okay.
So if we don't
I
get
like
to
your
6, it's
chances.
going to be very bad. And even if we do get to 6 at this point, I have a feeling that people are going to be upset because that would mean they would win just 2 of the next 5. So I think that's probably going to need a little bit more from you. Real quick, I want to put this out there. I don't need any more people for the softball game tonight. I appreciate those that have reached out apparently on our text line and on our YouTube chat. I'm good for this evening. I do appreciate.
It's nice people offered.
Yes. No. The issue. Yeah, so I'm friends with a lot of like engaged or like girlfriend guys at this point. Like my number of single friends in the group is dwindling. So the issue is not necessarily finding guys to fill the team. We got enough dudes around the circle that we get the team filled in the men's side of the co-ed thing. The issue is those guys are talking to less women than ever because
they're all coupled up.
Yeah, they've coupled up. So it was like, all right, Ray, what are you gonna do? And I was like, oh, geez. I
Go to the Rolodex.
It was a very concerning thing to go to the Rolodex. Once I typed Tinder in the contact search button, I was like, all right, maybe we should find better options here. But I appreciate those people that have volunteered to play for my softball team tonight.
How do you introduce them as such?
No, I'm not. Hi, this is
Amanda Hinge.
Yeah, no, this is Amanda. I don't know. Yeah, it's always tough, man. Like, we went out a couple times. It's usually like, I feel like something you could say in front of someone.
Yeah.
Or I try to give the story before someone were to show up. Like,
see, now that's the key.
Yeah. Not that I've had to do this a lot,
It's your managerial debut and maybe your swan song as well.
Yeah, because the manager will be back next week for the playoffs. So this is good. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be good for us in reacting to whatever the Phillies do against Brewers. And
it's obviously. We'll react to that, but it's
4 hours of
go
football.
Time. It's go time.
It's go time. I mentioned earlier the softest potential take that you're going to hear with regards to the Eagles season's coming up at 2:00 next on Unfiltered. I just want you to remember that the bar that we set on this program that I set yesterday was the Eagles need to be playing on championship game weekend. I'm not requiring them play in the Super Bowl, but with this amount of talent coming off the Super Bowl, I will allow for the fact that it's difficult to go back-to-back. It's difficult to play in back-to-back Super Bowls. But my bar is playing championship game Sunday for this season. Some others?
A lower, softer bar?
Yeah.
Kind of like a noodle?
Just saying. That's coming up next on Unfiltered. She's Amy Fadul. Thank you, Austin Jones. I'm Ray Dunn. Talk to you real soon right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.